What's going on, everybody? John with ACTION-FLIX.com coming at you with a special edition of the Action Fix podcast. And I have to apologize because I'm running a little late tonight. I was supposed to start this around roughly about 25 minutes ago. And I have to blame it on my local movie theater because I went to go see Monkey Man at my local movie theater, which is literally like less than a mile down the road from me. And I went to go see the IMAX showing and it blew up. Well, it didn't blow up, but it didn't start and it didn't start playing. So I had to wait for this 6 o'clock showing here in Panama City. So I am running late, but I am here. And without further ado, I'm going to bring in my co-host, Shane, the Action Nerd Logans. Shane, how you doing?
Doing well. I'm doing well.
Yay. Shane got to see Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire yesterday, was it?
Yes, yesterday afternoon.
So I was like, hey, great. Let's talk about it. I mean, it's been out for a week, which is fine. I mean, everybody else has done their podcast and shit about it. I'm like, who gives a fuck? I mean, I'll do whatever I want to.
Yeah.
So hey, show everybody what you got. Do you still have it with you? Like bring that shit
Yeah, I
out.
still got it with me. So I went to the AMC theater and this was
Yes.
there. You know, Kong on one side, Godzilla on another side, popcorn
Nice.
bowl. But me
Nice.
having kids, I could actually just go
Give
there.
one to each.
You can have
Like here, y'all get your own.
one each. Exactly.
Nice. There you go. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about Godzilla X Kong the New Empire and just, kind of I've already written my review for it. Everybody who probably follows my website has seen my review and um it's like basically you read my title and you don't have to read the review. So like if you turn it on, it's a there's my title for my review. So it's like you don't need to read the rest of the movie unless you want to, or the review, unless you want to, you know, learn why I think it's a popcorn crunching, kaiju roaring, ferocious summer good time. But there you go. There's my opinion on it. So good night, everybody. I'm like, no, so yeah. So Shane finally got to see it yesterday. So we are going to talk about it, being Godzilla, King Kong fans, kaiju fans, and we're going to be
Yeah.
talking about all things, relating the movie, because again, the movie's making a buttload of money, which is great. I loved it.
Yeah.
Shane, real quick, give us your interpretation. Just briefly, what'd you think of it?
Well, I enjoyed the hell out of it. I had a blast. I when I heard they were doing another one, I was kind of like, come on, let's just have solo Godzilla because I was always a Godzilla fan. But
You didn't like
I
King
am a
Kong?
fan.
You weren't digging the Kong?
Well, Kong is something different for me. But yes, I'm a Godzilla fan. If you can't tell.
Listen,
Uh,
I have my Christmas ornament. But
oh,
I did
nice.
order something about 3 weeks ago. It's coming from China, which is a Godzilla diorama, and because
Oh, nice.
yeah, so when it gets here, it's gonna be right behind me, because that's gonna be the spot it's gonna go, like right where my Snake Eyes store. So I have to figure out where to put that shit. But yeah, so once I get it, it's much better than my Christmas tree ornament. So I mean, listen,
Well,
I'm on a budget, so I've been on a budget. So it's like I see all this Godzilla stuff. I go to Walmart and I see Godzilla stuff I want to
yep.
buy, and it's not even like the greatest Godzilla stuff, but it's still. I'm like, hey, the 7-year-old
Well, I
in
was gonna
me
say,
is like, it looks cool.
I even got the hidden or the Hollow Earth crystal figures, and the first one I bought was Godzilla. The second one I got was Kong, and I was like, all right, I think my kids would like these too. So there's four monsters. I opened them up just to see because I was like, okay, if there's a samesies, maybe I can divide them up between the kids. Four figures, three of the damn ones are Kong and one's Godzilla. So I'm like, all right, screw it. I set aside the Godzilla and the Kong, and I'm gonna give that to my kids. So
There you go. All right, so we are jocking up. There you go. There's Mr. Schwarzenegger. Yes. So let's get this thing a rolling. First of all, let's go over like so. I'm old. I'm 51. Yeah, I mean, which look, I interviewed Matthias Hughes the other day, and he said I looked young. I'm like, hey, thanks a lot. And he's like, you're 51. I'm like, yes, I am. He's like, you look good for your age. I'm like, well, I can't really have his German accent, but fucking, oh my god, that guy's the nicest guy ever you want to talk to or meet. Or 2 hours. 2 hours I talked to that man on my podcast, and we probably would have went longer, but I think he had an appointment to go to, or else he would have longer. But yeah, so let's go over I've been a Godzilla fan and King Kong's been around pretty much for my whole life too, but it was Godzilla first for me. I remember 5-6 years old. There was WUAB channel 43, which was our local affiliate in Menor, Ohio. Saturday afternoons was Godzilla Day. It's like they would show Godzilla movies, and basically, when I started watching them, it was the Showa era, like the ridiculous ones, like where Godzilla's jumping up and down, he's doing that thing, and he's where he goes horizontal, and he's flying through the air, and Jet Jaguar, so that was my first real experience with the Godzilla movies, because those were harmless, and my parents were just like, go to town. I mean, if they were like the ones like they were releasing in the early 2000s, they probably would have been like because they were like more serious, more more heavy and everything. But yeah, so I remember every Saturday afternoon gearing up, because of course I had Saturday morning cartoons, which were the best. So I'd wake up freaking 7 o'clock in the morning, watch Saturday morning cartoon. I did go outside and play. I did not just stay inside all day with people. So I don't want to hear anybody arguing. But Saturdays was Saturday morning cartoons, and then I would go out and play for a little bit, and then I would come in and watch Godzilla movies, and then I'd go back out and play again. But yeah, so that was my first real experience with Godzilla, and I just remember like how awesome it was. And I didn't, when you're 5 or 6, you don't you don't see that it's a guy in a suit, you see these things on screen and everything. And I being 5 and 6, it was hard to watch the first 2/3 of a Godzilla movie, because you had the really bad dubbed Asian actors on the screen for most of the movie. But then the last 20-30 minutes, Godzilla would show up and fight the kaiju of the hour, and it was just all bets are off. And then when I videotaped them, all I was doing was fast forwarding to the good shit. It's like, yeah, let's get, because let's face it, I mean, bad dubbing, oh my god, those were some of the worst bad dubbed movies around, and we all can attest to, like, just like trying to suffer through it, and just like where's the monsters, so tell me, what was your first experience with Godzilla?
Well, I will say this for the dubbing, it was like, okay.
Their mouth would move like for 5 freaking minutes, and it'd be like, thank you very much. I'm like, that's all he said.
Honestly, I have to mirror it, pretty much the same experience for me. But I was like right around 9 or 10. Where I grew up in Texas, it was either TNT or TBS, same thing. Every Saturday afternoon, there'd be like 2 Godzilla movies, and then the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla cartoon.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there was that too. Yeah, that yeah.
And
Godzuki.
So
Godzuki.
Pretty much it mirrored it. Seeing the Showa era, seeing all the kiddie stuff, I think that's what my folks were like, he can watch whatever. So they were perfectly fine with it.
It's harmless.
I didn't realize, it's like I didn't find out about the Heisei era until I was early 2000s when we moved back to the US, because Sci-Fi Channel was like, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2, and I was like, they made a second one? And then I turned it on, and I was like, on Sci-Fi Channel, I'm like, wait a minute, this is a more modern one than. And then I saw because we had a Dish Network, and I told you with the year that it came out at, I was like, oh shit, there's ones made in the 90s? Because I knew about
I found like
98 Godzilla.
Facebook. Oh yeah, so it goes over all the eras, even like even Godzilla 98 has his own era with the movie and the cartoon. It's like
that is Toho owns that. They redubbed him Zilla just to get him away from Godzilla. So
I know. It's Godzilla.
And I will admit, in Germany, opening weekend at the airbase that I lived at, I went and saw Godzilla '98 with my dad. He was like, it was okay. And then when it came out on VHS for Christmas time, my folks got that for me, and my mom watched it, and she was like, it's a good Jurassic Park movie, but it was
That's
weird because I worked with young people, and they were like, oh, I'm a Godzilla fan too.
right.
And one guy goes, I was like, I want to really see this one called Godzilla 2000. He brought the VHS of Godzilla '98. I
Yeah.
was like, that, yeah, I'm like, that's not 2000. And um, let's see, the Millennium series. I love the Millennium series. I believe I have all of that on Blu-ray.
Hmm.
Uh, so I enjoy the hell out of that. I think my two favorite ones out of that is Godzilla 2000 and Godzilla Final Wars.
Yeah.
And
Oh, oh my God, Godzilla Final Wars. Yeah, that I have that on
batshit
DVD.
bonkers, balls to the wall monster action.
It's like The
I
Matrix
highly
meets
recommend it.
Godzilla with Dan Fry, who was an
Yeah,
MMA champion at the time.
mixed in with a little Power Rangers too. You got to mix in a little Power Rangers
Oh
with that
yes,
as
I'm
well.
so sorry. I forgot about the Power Rangers. My bad. My bad. My bad.
And I actually saw them for the Millennium or the Legendary. I saw the only ones I did not see of this franchise in theaters was Kong Skull Island and Godzilla versus Kong. And well, Godzilla versus Kong was because of the pandemic, but I saw it when it came out on HBO Max when it was doing a same day release as theaters.
Right.
Um, I saw Godzilla 2014 opening weekend. King of the Monsters, I'd say, is my favorite out of the franchise. So,
Oh,
because you
that's an
got all the
unpopular
monsters.
opinion.
Oh yeah, I know that. It's like, and people disagree with me. Fight me. But
Listen,
that was
I
my
love them
favorite one
all. I
because
love
it's
them
got
all.
all the classic monsters. You got Rodan, you got King Ghidorah, you got Mothra, and then it introduces all the other newer ones.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna lie. I liked Godzilla versus Kong. Wasn't the biggest fan of the Kong scenes. I like Godzilla. He's the main man. He's the one that I was rooting for, and I wanted a little more for that. And then I saw this, like, saw the previews. I even looked. I was like, okay, shortest runtime in the franchise, the lowest budget of the franchise.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay, are they like not giving a shit? Because, we had in Japan Shin Godzilla, which is awesome. It's kind of horrific in certain moments. And then, I still haven't seen it. I missed out because financial hardships, but Godzilla minus one came out. The franchise is like hot as all hell. And then we get this movie, which I know some people were like, great. We got another legendary Godzilla coming out. And fuck the haters. I enjoyed the hell out of this.
Hmm.
And I was literally sitting there munching on popcorn because I didn't, I wanted to avoid all spoilers. Like I avoided your site because I had a feeling you were gonna write a review. I avoided other sites because I didn't want to see any spoilers. And I was munching on like at first I ate Milk Duds and then I was munching on popcorn during this movie. And then I see your review. I was like, so John had the same idea as I did.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it Thursday. The Thursday it came out, and my daughter, who's 8, Bailey, it was a proud papa moment because she was like, because we watched Godzilla versus Kong the night before, and I was like,
Hmm.
and I'm asking her, I'm like, how'd you like it? I was like, was any of it scary for you? She was like, Dad. And I'm like, I'm asking because, like, it's like you never know. I mean, it's like, it's like, I mean, I would never have her watch. I probably wouldn't have her watch Godzilla minus one because that's just shit Godzilla at his most scariest. But this is what I was like. Yeah, I'm like they're good guys. They're fighting, and then they.
Hmm.
So yeah, she loved it, and then I was like, but yeah,
Oh, that's great.
I go, would you like to see? Yeah, I go actually, this was like a couple days before. I was like, and I asked her, I'm like, do you want to go see Godzilla X Kong? She's like, of course. I'm like, oh, would you like to watch Godzilla versus Kong? She's like, absolutely, you know. And then so yeah, so I took her the first showing on that Thursday, and then as soon as she went to bed, I'm like typing my review. I'm like, okay, let's get this thing rolling. And like I said, my shoulder, like it's hard to type, but I'm like, damn it, I'm gonna do this, you know, because I couldn't do a video one because she was sleeping. So I'm like, I have to write it. I have to write it. But yeah, I loved it. I love, like I get like when some people. Okay, here's the main thing. Okay, because I mean we're not really gonna talk about plot because everyone knows what the plot is, you know. Gia here's the signals, you know, Godzilla too, you know, like what's happening in Hollow Earth, you know, and in terms of all that crap, and then they have to go back and figure out what's going on. So the doc were played by Rebecca Hall and Dan Stevens. Dan Stevens, who's in The Guest. If you haven't seen The Guest, that is an awesome mashup of action, horror, and he's just great. He plays Trapper, and normally I'm not into the
Oh, I love
human being.
Trapper.
He
I
was
loved him.
so awesome. He was like Indiana Jones, like veterinarian, like for kaiju's. I was just like, this is the greatest. Like I love his intro too. Like he's hanging off. He's like, I got you, you know. And he's like, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, he was just great. He was great in it, and I loved it. But yeah,
Veterinary
yeah,
kaiju uh robotics engineer,
yeah,
because
yeah.
uh
It's like, do you
I
go to
read
college for
somewhere.
that? Like, do you have to
Yeah, it's
take
like I
classes?
read somewhere somebody was like, please, 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 in the next movie have Trapper and Vet Jet Jaguar. That's what we need. I was like, that would be cool. Uh
And they need to make Jet
I
Jaguar look exactly like the Jet Jaguar in the 70s. They do not change how Jet Jaguar looks. He's gotta look exactly like he did when
uh
Godzilla and him teamed up, you know, and they're high-fiving each other. It's like you
I
gotta have
don't
it
know if it's
exactly.
still available, but I know for a while Pluto TV had a Godzilla channel, and
It
I
still
swear to
is.
God,
I looked it up. It's there.
okay,
Yep, yep. 24
every time
7.
I turn it on, and all of a sudden they'd be like, it's at the end, and there's because in Japanese it's Jet Jagger.
Yeah, Jet
Jet
Jagger.
Jagger.
Jet Jagger.
It's like
Yeah.
Jet Jagger. I was like, oh god,
That's
every
it.
time. And I own that movie on Blu-ray, so I got to sit down with my kids and watch it. Easter, I I do holidays weird. Like 4th of July, most holidays I watch some sort of giant monster movie because I love them. And Easter, I told the kids, after Easter egg hunt, I went, all right, Dad's putting on a movie. We're gonna watch Big Lizard and Big Monkey. And when my kids heard that, they sat down, and it's Godzilla versus Kong. And then I was like, all right, we're gonna watch a movie with big fish. Probably not my best decision to have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old
Yeah,
watch,
I wouldn't have Bailey watch
The
The
Meg
Meg.
2. So
Yeah, that's because my ex was like, I'm like, it's not like The Meg. I mean, like Godzilla versus Kong and Godzilla X Kong. And, yeah, because the shark eats people. I'm
yeah,
like, I'm not gonna have her watch like
yeah.
the shark eat people. I'm like, nobody gets eaten in this movie. I mean, it's just monsters.
I did put on The Meg 2 for my kids. Their mother, because I went over there for Easter, she had them this last weekend, so I went over there to celebrate, and she sat in. We had to explain to the 5-year-old that it's not real. It's just a movie. It's all computer effects. Nobody was hurt.
Jason
And once we
Statham
said that,
cannot
she was like,
really kick a shark in its nose. It's like that cannot happen. It's like.
"Blasphemy, sir! Blasphemy!"
Hey, if he ever
But
had the opportunity, he probably could. Who knows? Yeah, he's Jason Statham.
yeah,
What are you gonna do? But
I think Jason Statham would look at Godzilla and just go, "Bring it on, pussy." Yeah.
I listen. I love the Meg movies. Like, and the second one was
Oh yeah.
maligned by a lot of people, and I can see like with all the introduction of all the other freaking like the little freaking dinosaurs running around and everything like that. It got a little like, whoa, let's just get back to the sharks, which they did. I went
Yeah.
back and he fought the sharks at the end, you know, and but Wu Jing, how do you have Wu Jing in a movie and not have him beat anybody up? I mean, Jason Statham
I
even beat people up
know.
in this because he didn't beat anybody up in the first one, you know, because it was, but he beat people up. It's like, how do you have Wu
Mhm.
Jing, like one of the greatest international Asian action stars ever to grace the screen, and not have him beat up anybody? It's like,
I think
that
one of
was a
the
big complaint
best
of mine.
parts And one of the best parts was when Wu Jing was speaking in what was it, Cantonese? All, coming out, he's like speaking. He's like, "I'm just here to distract you guys while my friend gets behind you and beats the hell out of you."
Right. It's like, woo, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. But
No,
whatever.
no, he
I
had the
mean,
bonding
listen,
moments with
he was probably
the
acting.
baby Meg.
He was probably happy. He's like, hey, I get to play somebody who you know, because I'm
Hmm.
always kicking ass. You know, it's like whatever. But
Oh,
yeah, I was like, you got to have Wu Jing. Well, he jumped out of a helicopter, which was pretty cool. So I mean,
yep.
he still
Oh,
had a
and
fuck yeah moment. But
took on a kraken. So there's that too.
yeah, there you go. All right, but let's get back to Godzilla. So
Oh yeah.
all right, Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. So again, they go to Hollow Earth. You know, Kong is lonely. You know, he had the toothache at the beginning. That's why he comes up. You know, back up to the
Yeah.
mainland, and they're all panicking because like, oh my god, King Kong's here. Like Godzilla is gonna know, and he's gonna get pissed off.
Oh yeah.
And I love Godzilla because Godzilla is like me. Godzilla, he's like a savior of the planet, but he's just Mr. Grumpy Pants. He's just like he's
Yeah.
like, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna save your fucking little world, but I'm gonna wreck some shit when I do it. You know, I'm not gonna get.
And
I'm not gonna mind walking through bridges and like I'm gonna use the Coliseum as my own nesting
exactly.
area. It's like
It's like I'm gonna take a nap in one of your national monuments. Even have the government threaten to do missile strikes on him because he's sleeping in the Coliseum. And
right.
even Monarch's like, "You're not gonna do that. All you gotta do is piss him off."
Right. Yeah, and I love how like,
So,
he's just grumpy. He's just like he's
oh
like
yeah,
he's a good guy, but he's like you know what? I'm in a bad mood 24/7. Just let me do what I got to do, and then let me go back to sleep. And
Kong is
and I
the
like I thought they gave
happy-go-lucky.
him because God really King Kong has more personality in these
Yeah.
movies than Godzilla does. Godzilla's just a wrecking ball. And I love that they did that with Godzilla because it gave him more of a personality. Like, you know, I like
Hmm.
how you know, like he comes in and he's like when he circles around and then lays down in the Coliseum. Oh man,
Yeah.
I love that was the great. I was laughing. I was like,
Uh,
this is the
I
great
think of it this way: Kong is the happy-go-lucky, everybody's favorite uncle who always gives gifts,
stuff.
and Kong is the grumpy uncle, or Godzilla is
Godzilla.
the
Yeah.
grumpy uncle that everybody's like, "I want to stay the hell away from him because he's just nasty."
Yes.
So,
Like he's always yelling too. Godzilla all in all pictures.
exactly.
He's always well, they're both yelling in that one, but he's always yelling. Like there he is again. He's you know, he's
Yeah,
always yelling. He's Mr. Yelly Pants. It's like it's like, but okay.
I do
So
like his evolved form.
yeah,
So,
so of course, you know, then the introduction of we find out there's more there oh my gosh, there's more gorillas, you know, or apes in Hollow Earth. And then the Scar King, you know, is
mhm.
introduced. And actually the Scar King doesn't come into like 2/3 in the movie. Like he doesn't even really show up like until like, you know, for a long time, which I thought was, you know, was a I was like, hey, that, you know, I think they
Mhm.
should have introduced him a little earlier, just like have him have more scenes of like where you know to like display him as this you know big time bad guy.
Intimidating force.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
he had a good intro. Don't get me wrong, but you know
Oh
I was
yeah.
kind of surprised that he you know until way into the
I
movie.
like that they did an original monster for the or original monsters in this one for villains instead of, oh, let's bring another Toho one along. But I'm like, I'm
Well, that's
glad we did
because
something
they don't have the
original.
licenses, right? Like Toho has to give them the licenses to use those in
They
the.
have they there's some weird thing like Ghidorah and Rodan and Mothra and like whatever the hell you saw in King of the Monsters, they have, but there's certain ones like I'm just glad we didn't like see a King Caesar at, as the villain, which I'm like, no, that's a King Caesar is a good guy, last I knew, but seeing an original monster made me happy, and then seeing another original monster made me happy, and makes
We
you
could spoil
wonder
it.
about the
Yeah, and
history of
okay,
those monsters.
let me just get out of the way. It's been playing for a week now, so you haven't seen it. That's not my fault. So yeah, spoil away. Yeah, so
Yeah,
the big thing is Mothra, which I didn't know. Like that was a surprise for me. So
yeah,
I thought that
that
was
was a
pretty
surprise to
cool.
me as well.
Yeah, because
Like I said, I avoided all social media about this movie. I avoided all the reviews. We see the toys. There's the Scar King. There's Shimu. Uh, Yeah, and then, Mothra pops up. Like, I purposely avoided anything for this movie because I didn't want it to be spoiled. I watched one, maybe two I saw, like, the teaser trailer and then the actual trailer,
And
and that's it.
Mothra looked kick ass, man. I thought that was one of
Oh,
the best
yeah.
looking Mothras ever, man. I was like, wow, they really
I
did a good job with it.
they did a great I like how, Bernie, which in Godzilla versus Kong, I didn't care for Bernie. I thought he was annoying as hell in that one, and in this one, I loved Bernie. I thought he was great. They, like, developed his character a bit
They
better,
did. They gave him the
and
backstory. He lost his wife, so
mhm,
there that gives you the sentimental thing going for him now, and he's not just a guy that
but they
cracks
give him
jokes and stuff like
the
that, or a
crazy
conspiracy theorist.
paranoid
Yeah,
pod Yeah, but in this one, he's like, "No, I actually did it. I actually saw this. I saved the world. I need to give proof. People won't listen." And he's like, "And that one troll of mine," he's like, "Yeah, he's just a jerk."
yeah, yeah,
And, him and, seeing Dan Stevens together, they did such a great job. I loved seeing Trapper and Bernie interact because
yes, they had good chemistry together.
Trapper's
Yeah, they
like
did.
yeah, it's like Trapper when they go down to the Hollow Earth and that badass looking heave, they're like, "Yeah!" And Bernie's like, "Oh my god! Oh my god!"
Yeah,
Just two opposites of the same coin, that basically, and I just enjoyed the hell out of that. Rebecca Hall did a great job. Her most famous role to me would be, besides these, would be Iron Man 3.
see, I don't even remember her. I've only seen Iron Man 3 once, so yeah, I don't remember her being in Iron Man.
She was the
I
one that developed the Extremis.
Oh, okay. I'll go back and
So yeah.
read it and yeah. So I couldn't. Yeah, she's not a actress that I'm really familiar with. If you like,
She's a British actress. She's done a
look at
few
you, buddy.
things over there, and she's
Good for
trying to
you.
make more of a market here in the US.
Gotcha. So she's a guy like all these British actors and actresses get rid of their accents, and you don't know they're British, and then it's like, wow,
Well, look at Dan Stevens. He
he's
didn't at all.
yeah, yeah.
And
Well, he got
in
to use
Scott
his
Atkins,
accent.
for
He got
example,
to use his accent.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
and I was gonna say, like, Scott Atkins, for example, we need him in a Godzilla movie. I don't care if he's like the bad guy mercenary trying to fuck things up, but he's been doing his British accent, and I'm enjoying the hell out of some of these more established British actors are
Well,
doing their
yeah,
accents.
well, that plus his acting, because when he first came out, obviously he was all about the ass kicking, but then like
Hmm.
totally improved on his acting, and then when he just uses his British accent, it's like he's more. You could tell he's more relaxed and more comfortable. Just like I'm just using my accent, and then that's what he's
Yeah,
at his
and Dan
best.
Stevens, I love Dan Stevens in The Guest. He did a
Oh my
great
god, that
job.
was such they need a sequel. Him and
He,
Adam Wingard need to make a freaking sequel to that
oh
movie
yeah,
already.
he did awesome, and I saw majority of the first season of Legion. He did a great job in Legion.
Yeah.
Uh, my ex watched the hell out of Downton Abbey, and seeing him do that, you know,
Oh,
I'm
Down
like,
my mom watches Downton Abbey. So she would know
oh
who
yeah, he's in that.
yeah. I've
He's
never
in like
watched
the first
Downton
3 or 4 seasons. So
Yeah, like, besides The Guest, I hadn't really been familiar with Dan Stevens either
I, I
until
I was
watching
like,
The Guest.
yeah, let's see. Like, I'm looking it up right now, but I'm like, what else has he been in? That I Because I see him and I'm like, oh, he's that guy. Like, oh, he played the Beast in the live action Beauty and the Beast with them. Yeah, he did that one. Uh, Apparently he
That was
did
Dan
Welcome to the
Stevens
Chippendales.
in The Beauty and the
That
Beast?
was Dan Stevens in the
No
Beauty and the Beast.
Oh.
The have you seen another kind of kaiju related thing? The movie Sea Beasts on Netflix. He did the voice of kind of like the jerk admiral who's like, my ship's better than all you sea hunters.
Oh, my girls love that movie. We watch that all the
Oh
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he's been in a lot of different things, and uh, another big popular one was Eurovision Song Contest, the Rachel McAdams, Will Ferrell comedy.
I've not seen that. I'm sorry.
It's on Netflix. It's a
Okay.
comedy. I
I'll
heard it
take your
didn't
word
do.
for it.
I heard it wasn't all that great, but
Okay.
he's in it. he's been in a lot of things. And I'm just scrolling, and oh, yep, he did another kaiju movie called Colossal with Anne Hathaway.
Yes. Yes, I remember that one. Yep,
I
yep, yep. Okay, so yeah,
I did not care for that one, so
yeah, so again, like, Godzilla minus one, like the biggest thing with Godzilla minus one is like, Godzilla's screen time is very limited, but you're invested in the human characters, and the lead is like, oh my god, such a good character arc. And here it's the same thing. I liked
yeah.
the humans when the humans were on the screen. I was watching, I wasn't looking at my phone, or I wasn't, I enjoyed them. I enjoyed their interaction. I thought the Doc and Gia, I thought that was heartfelt. That was like
Mhm.
a great little story, with Gia finding her people, and then she's thinking she's gonna leave, and then stuff like it was heartwarming. I mean, I was digging it. I was getting into it. Besides like the kaiju smackdowns every 5 minutes, which again, Adam Wingard's just like, I'm just gonna throw all this in here and just like have like, either Kong beat the shit out of somebody or Godzilla beat the shit out of somebody every 5 minutes. It's like, there you go. So
Yeah, I did like how somebody did compare this to, saying that this was Adam Wingard's version of Final Wars. So,
yeah, I
because
could,
there's a
yeah,
fight.
absolutely,
And,
absolutely.
we got another, original kaiju in Tiamat.
Tiamat,
Uh,
yeah. And that's,
yeah,
yeah, and then I remember when they were showing Godzilla, like, so again, this was a big picture they were showing, and everybody's like, "Why is he
mhm,
pink? Why is he pink?" I'm like, "Because there's a reason." And then, and now we know the reason. He was getting all the energy, from the kaiju's, because he was making himself stronger, because he knew he was going to need to, like, because in Godzilla versus Kong, he was getting his ass kicked by Mecha Godzilla until King Kong came and helped him
mhm,
out because he was weak. He had beat Kong, but it takes its toll on him. So yeah, so like the first half of this movie, he's just like, you know what? He's basically like, it's like a training montage. He's like, I'm just gonna beef up and
mhm.
just suck the energy out of all these kaiju, so that way I'm
They
amped up and ready to go, which is freaking awesome.
take the energy from the kaiju, go and, like, basically destroy a nuclear power plant and absorb all the radiation.
Yeah,
Take a monster that is absorbing all, like, solar radiation that's coming up, turn into the evolved version, which Adam Wingard was like, that was his nod to Godzilla 2000,
right.
because he wanted to honor that one, which I've liked. Adam Wingard happens to do the job. Like, he loves the original
He's a
movies, so
fan,
he's gonna
and
honor
it
them.
and it
Yeah,
shows.
he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah, definitely," and, I when I first was like, Why the hell did they make Godzilla pink?" And then I walked into a Target and saw the toy, and it said the pink one, and it said, "Godzilla Evolved." I was like, "Oh, it's just his
Ah,
next
yeah.
evolutionary step." And
Right.
now people are saying, "Oh, Godzilla's not done being evolving. He's still got further to go."
Yes.
And I loved that scene in Cairo where Godzilla sees Kong, just does the atomic breath, and he destroys two of the pyramids.
Oh, he just totally decimates him, and then Kong's like trying to get
Yeah,
out of the
he
way, and I love Kong, like, because Kong's like, he's like, no, I'm not
no,
here
no,
to
no, no,
fight.
no.
Like, just his expressions, it's just like he's like, will you? Because it's like if Kong could talk, he'd be like, will you fucking listen to me right now? It's like it's like I'm not here.
Oh,
This
I
isn't
will
a show
say,
of force. I'm not here for a show of force. I'm here to bring you
and
downstairs
you
so that
know,
way you can help me kick the shit out of some people.
I remember, how the memes and people, when King of the Monsters came out, they're like, Godzilla with Mothra and holding a little baby and go, "Can we have more?" Saying it's like Godzilla's wife, and even Bernie goes, "Mothra, the queen of the monsters." Godzilla's about to do a final blow on Kong, and then all of a sudden, there's Mothra like, "No."
Yes.
Basically, kind of like the stern wife going, "You're not doing that, no."
She should have took her wing and slapped him in the face. It just should have been like, it's like will you?
But once Godzilla
Yeah,
saw Mothra, he was like,
yeah. And then he was like, then he shakes it. He's like, okay. I'm like, all right, I
"All
know what's happening
right,
now. I know what's
yes,
happening now.
dear."
Yeah,
So,
so and then, of course, the last half hour was just like a freaking wet dream for Kaiju fans because it's just like first they're fighting in Hollow Earth. So, we get the okay, and I'm just gonna say that this could possibly be one of my most favorite moments in Kaiju movie history is when when
hmm
he pops out of the ground and then Kong comes up behind him, and they start running to. I mean, my inner child was screaming at the top of his lungs. I'm like, that was the most awesome display of force.
Kong
And then it
jumping
turns
on
into
him and
this, and you're just
yes,
like, yeah, they're slow motion leaping at each other. It's like, how can you not enjoy this being a kaiju fan?
exactly. I loved seeing that, especially, because Scar King rides Shimu like a horse. And you
Yeah.
see Kong grab a hold of Godzilla and ride him a little bit. And they do like the epic, like, showdown. We're gonna do it. And the Iwu, if I'm pronouncing that correctly,
Yeah, the tribe.
they're
Yeah.
yeah, the tribe set a trap for the Scar King and his followers because they have learned how to alter gravity in the Hollow Earth and
Hmm.
set a gravity trap, and everything's floating, and everybody's like, wow, and Godzilla and Kong are still beating the hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
Uh the
And then, of
humans
course, they
and
go
the
up
he
top, and then and it's like, this isn't a Godzilla Kong movie if we don't destroy a city. So we have to destroy a city. So we have to go up top,
and
and we have to wreck buildings and shit. It's like, so
and this time they destroyed Rio. So
Rio de
Rio de
Janeiro,
Janeiro
yes.
was the one
See,
destroyed.
you saw
I
yesterday,
like
so everything's more fresh in your mind.
Oh yeah.
I'm a week off, so it's like I gotta watch it
I
again.
I
So yeah, Rio
loved
de
how
Janeiro.
when everything was going to hell, when you see this like tidal wave coming up and it just freezes over.
Yeah.
That was awesome, and that because one thing it's revealed that Shimu was the reason for the Ice Age, but
Hmm.
and the Scar King and his followers were actually on Earth, and it was Godzilla who put them down in Hollow Earth.
Yes, he was the savior. Yeah, he's been saving the world for a very long time. It's because
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
and the apes, talking about Kong's people, were the ones that defended humankind.
yes.
So I did like how they were like, okay, we're gonna add more lore, but we're gonna make sense this time with adding in the lore. Unlike some movies, like, oh, we never in an entire 40 years of franchise, we never talked about fuel for our spaceships,
Yeah,
for example.
exactly.
So, but in this one, they're like, we're gonna throw in some lore, and it's gonna make sense, people. And I absolutely loved it. I did like the kaiju cameo we got from of Doug, which is the little one that stole Kong's food in the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
Because that's actually what people or the fandom's calling him, is Doug,
Doug, yeah.
because he was in Godzilla versus Kong.
Yep.
Uh, I It's how they said that Scar King was controlling with that, because you can see in the background picture, Scar King's got the blue crystal, and that's what he was using to control Shimu.
Yeah, because there's a lot of fans out there saying, "Oh, the Scar King wasn't a good enough villain. You needed that crystal to control Shimo." And I'm like, I thought he was pretty badass. I mean, he took no shit.
It it's You can still have a badass villain that has an ultimate weapon. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
see
bring
it
it to
all the
Star
time.
Wars. We had the Empire like badass villains, and they had the Death Star.
Yep.
And for this one, it was Scar King with Shimu, who, like I just said, created the Ice Age
Hmm.
and has the crystal to control, because that crystal causes pain to Shimu, and
Yes,
that's what gets him in control.
and I liked how like I liked how because then of course the baby Kong. I mean, he didn't
Yeah,
have a name, did he? It was
they gave him a name, but
did they give him a
hold on,
name? I
let's see
can't
it. Like,
remember.
yeah,
Is it on the back of your
Zuko.
packaging? It's like,
Yeah, back on the packaging,
oh,
huh?
there you go. Oh
Because
yeah. Okay,
it
there you go.
it actually comes. It says Suko,
Suko.
Suko, with
Okay, now
Titanic.
yeah, okay, I remember now.
Yeah, and they also say with Titanus Doug.
Titanus Doug.
So yeah,
Doug.
But
Doug
yeah, it's
days.
yeah. Well, they got to give us like a short and call it Doug Days.
Doug
Just
days. Yeah, exactly. Like
this
Disney
one
Plus
little.
short. Doug days. Yeah, exactly. Like where he just walks around stealing
I
people's
think
food.
no, it would probably be on Apple TV because they do have Monarch Legacy of Monsters on there. Uh, Great show. I highly recommend it myself.
See,
I
I haven't
watched
had
all
the
of it.
chance to watch the Monarch show. I've heard so many bad things about it, though. I mean,
Um,
because I've
you
heard
have to pay attention.
because I heard that the story arc between the sister is it's not that appealing. I mean, Kurt Russell and his son's arc is good, I guess, but like the other
Hmm.
characters, everybody's just like, you're gonna be looking at your phone and like and stuff like that. And then, of course,
It
Godzilla is
can get a little
limited,
tedious.
but I mean, I would
Well, in
expect
that one,
that.
they were trying more of introducing more Titans and more lore into it. I love that Wyatt Russell played a younger version of his father's character.
Yeah, yeah. I thought, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
that
I'll watch
that
it. I
was
just
great.
have to. I just
Oh
have
yeah.
to find the time to watch it. I'm watching Special Ops Lioness right now, which is on Paramount Plus with Zoe Saldana. Oh my god, so good.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't want to get off
Um,
tangent here, but that's
yeah.
what I'm on episode 6 of that right now, and I'm just loving that. I'm like, it's like if Taylor Sheridan does Special Ops. I'm like, oh, this is because I love Yellowstone and
Uh,
Tulsa King. So
well, for a little bit, I actually watched all of season one of LA's Finest because that was tie into our last one when we talked about Bad Boys 4 trailer.
yes,
Uh, Buddy of mine at work highly recommend it. Invincible to me. I binged the hell out of season one. I am like season four of episode four of season two of that show.
that's a play on superheroes, isn't it? It's like
I mean,
a play.
Invincible is based off the comic book.
Okay, so there's a comic book on that.
Yeah.
See, I'm not familiar with Invincible. I mean, I'll admit it. I'm not familiar with that with
But
that
you know,
movie.
I enjoy it. I've also I also watched another big monster movie yesterday. Right, I was like trying to get up the energy. Come on, and Black Demon is not the movie to get yourself
I
up
watched.
there prepped for. It was on Amazon. It was on Amazon.
Yeah, my oldest, my 16-year-old, we're into watching shark movies, and we watched that one night, and we were just like, "This is boring." It's just like it was so
The
dry and
that
so boring,
Yep.
and I was like, oh, and there was like no
Uh,
shark action. There was like 2 minutes
I
like at the
know.
end, and like and then the sharks
Like
go is up, and then and I'm like, wow, that
you
was
know, for a
really
movie
exciting.
called The Black Demon and the preview, if you guys want to see the shark action, watch the previews for that one because it's all in
It's
the
all
brief.
in the trailer.
I love giant monster movies. Gamera is another favorite of mine.
I
I
have not seen
I'm one of
Gamera
those
in
guys.
so many years. I got to go back and revisit Gamera and those movies.
I
I
am
haven't
one of
watched them
those
since I was a
people.
kid. Yeah,
I'm one of those
it's what it is.
people who's like, I want the Gamera Godzilla movie. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Because even Gamera had his own Heisei era movies, the Gamera trilogy, which I got that all on
Well, that
Blu-ray, which is
well,
awesome.
Gamera is like Godzilla. Gamera like was good, and then there were movies where they made him bad, and then it's like okay, and it's
Well,
just
no, well, the Heisei era movies were darker themed, but he was still a good guy.
yeah.
Reason why
Well,
reason
yeah.
why
So
we got
go ahead, go on.
yes. The reason why we got Gamera was there was another Japanese studio that was trying to
Right.
benefit off of the Kaiju films, and they created Gamera, but this time they made it more kid friendly and
Yeah.
kid centric. And but I'm like, I still think even though Gamera is a name brand Kaiju, Godzilla still wins because they're still making movies. They're hell, Godzilla was the first one to make animated movies. Granted, they weren't that great on Netflix, and then eventually they did Gamera. It's like a Gamera anime series for Netflix, and I wish I would have watched that instead of the Black Demon to try to get myself hyped up for this. Hell, I would have the movie The Lake that came out last year would have gotten me more hyped for this movie, and that one is a bizarre one. Yeah, Black Demon did that with me. Yeah, But this one, Godzilla X Kong, I will admit the Godzilla X Kong, the X part I'm like kind of dumb in my opinion. I would have
Well,
been
it's kind of like
fine with
Godzilla and Kong, but
Godzilla
they
and
didn't want to
Kong.
put
Yeah,
they didn't want to put the and
I understand. It's like, but the new Empire, I enjoyed the hell out of this movie.
Oh yes, let's get
It's like
back to the movie we're actually supposed to be talking
yeah,
about.
it's like I told buddies of mine at work today. I was like, yeah, I saw the new Godzilla movie. And a couple of them stopped. They're like, how was it? Oh, dude, it was good. And another guy goes, I didn't know they even made a new one.
Tyler has joined us. Hey, Tyler. Tyler says, so Black Demon doesn't have sharks. Yes, there is a shark in Black Demon. It's just,
Uh,
there's literally like, how many
Watch the preview
minutes?
and you see all the shark.
Yeah, it's like,
Watch
just
the
watch.
preview and you see the shark. That's
Yes,
it.
it's a big shark. It's like kind of like the Meg, there's like this whole folklore behind it, like a lore behind it. But yeah, you blink and you miss it is what we're saying.
I will say this,
It was
Lord.
there. It's just,
I will save you an hour and 50 minutes, I think it was. Watch the preview. That's all the shark you got.
that's all. You don't need to watch the
That's it.
movie. It's
Yeah, you don't need
Josh
to watch the movie.
Lucas.
Just
He's a
watch the
good
preview.
actor. He's good in it. I mean,
I That's
he's
the reason why I watched it is I like
yeah,
Josh Lucas.
yeah.
I He's a great actor. One of my favorite movies actually has him in the end of it, and he's not well, technically he's the star, and that was
Right.
Secondhand Lions.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yep, yep.
you know, hell, we give Josh Lucas into the MonsterVerse. Just have him as like I could see him as kind of like an asshole politician trying to shut down Monarch because they even say in this one that the military is trying to find a way to take over the Hollow Earth project,
Yeah.
and so the corporations could come in and do what they need to do. Uh, and I know some people are gonna be like, "Well, why's Kong got a boxing glove on?" Well,
Because he hurt
he
his
fought
hand, people.
against yeah, it was Frostbite from Shimu,
Yeah.
and they called it god damn Project Powerhouse. That's what it was called because they were like, oh, after fighting
Yeah,
Mechagodzilla, they
there's
thought,
a right there. Yeah.
what would be the best way to take on Godzilla in a way or another powerful being with Kong because he is defending humanity, and that's by giving him robotic exo pieces to wear. But it got too expensive. Yeah, exactly.
Godzilla beats the Three Stooges. I liked
Yep.
the Meg too. Like I said, the only
I
thing I didn't like was like all the other freaking like dinosaurs running around and shit. I'm like, can we get back to the huge freaking sharks, please? Which they did. They did, and Statham fought him like he did in the first one. But it was like the whole middle part was just like, all right, this is getting ridiculous. There's like too much shit going on.
No, I will say Godzilla related thing. Somebody did a fan film like,
Oh, he hasn't. Oh, we're sorry. You haven't seen. Well, if you're
yeah,
listening, then we spoiled some shit for you. We said spoilers.
well,
We apologize.
we
We
did
apologize.
warn you. Spoilers.
We
Yeah.
did. We did. We did.
I did see a little video where they showed a fish being eaten by like I'm gonna miss. I think it's a plesiosaur, the dinosaur that had the fins, and then Megalodon ate that one, and then Godzilla eats the Megalodon, comes straight up and just eats that one, and I was like,
That would be kick ass. Like God, like I want
that would be.
Godzilla to do like what he did to the Mutos in the first one, where he just rips the mouth open and breathes down the fight. Okay,
That's like
that is the ultimate badass Godzilla kill in any movie. I will
I
debate
will
that with
admit that one.
anybody.
That is the best
When
one.
that happened, when I saw that in the movie theater for the first time, I was like, fuck and yeah, because I was like, that
Or
was like,
when
because it was like
Mechagodzilla and the
Godzilla
last one
at his
tried that.
badass, most pissed off stuff. He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna end this fucking right now, and it's just like,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, like well, Mechagodzilla tried to do that with Godzilla and Godzilla versus Kong.
right.
So it's not just Godzilla that thinks that. Yeah.
I or Gigan. Let's bring like
Yeah.
let's get them all in there. It's like it's like yeah, I'm all for it. Let's have Toho like just give licenses to Legendary Pictures and be like, okay, you can have this one for this movie, you can have this one for that movie, or better yet, put two of them in the movie. It's like that way.
Or how about this? It's like for the next Kong movie, throw in Zilla and just have Kong beat the hell out of Zilla.
Well, they did it in Final Wars. They took a stab
That
at
was a
Zilla.
tail
Yeah,
slap and a atomic breath, and that was it. And
yeah.
I'm like, yes, that was awesome. I
He's like,
laughed so
bitch.
hard when I originally saw that.
He's like,
Yeah,
he's like,
exactly.
imposter. It's like, get the fuck out of my way.
And well, I will say this, it's like in these movies, it doesn't really make Kong look all that intimidating,
Listen, I went to Books a
because
Million the other day with my daughter, and they had a little Gigan figure. They had Godzilla, they had freaking Mecha Godzilla, Gigan, but they were like $25, and they were literally this big. I'm like, I'm not paying
Mhm.
$25 for a 6-inch figure. I'm like, and I was so pissed off. I just wanted to walk out and freaking be like, yes, Jet Jaguar, yeah, or Jet Jagger.
Jaguar,
Yeah,
yeah, that we were
yeah,
talking about how,
Bring
I
bring
read that
back
somebody
Don
said
Fry.
crap to it.
Yes, bring back Don Fry. Nobody knows who Don Fry is anymore. That's the problem. Like when Godzilla Final Wars
Yeah,
came out, he was kind of like just out of his MMA thing.
yep,
So, but now it's like, yeah, unfortunately, nobody knows like who Don Fry was kind of like Conor McGregor, but with less of a wacky attitude, if you want to think.
yeah.
So,
He was more serious.
yes.
But I was gonna say, I'm a huge Kaiju fan. I've shown this off before on the show. Titanic Creations, great job.
Oh.
Titanicus.
I am
Uh,
so jealous. I need like hopefully I get this job and I can start freaking buying stuff again because I'm so behind on like I said,
I will.
I got like okay, and this Godzilla diorama, um its retail price is like $1,500. I got it for 50.
How the hell did you do that?
Because it was a Facebook special, and I emailed them, and I go, "Is this legit? Because if I get scammed, I'm gonna find your address, I'm gonna drive down and lob grenades in your lobby." And they're like, "No, no, 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 it's legit," and it's like, here's your confirmation. And I'm like, "Okay, if I fucking, but yeah, oh my god, it's freaking I can't wait, and I'm just gonna like sit there and just like look at it when I finally get
Hmm.
it all put together."
I hell, like the Godzilla X Kong toys, $10 at Walmart.
Yes, I'm going
So
yeah. Like, here's the thing, I gotta start decorating this place because I haven't really, like, had the heart or the stomach or the desire. I've done some stuff, but I need to do a lot more, and I need to just accept the fact and just start decorating the shit out of this place and just make it one huge ass
nice.
man cave, but I need money to do that
I was gonna say
because
you can see part of the background. I was
well,
gonna
yeah,
say
like
there's the other part. There's
I
the
do
other part.
have like this stuff you don't see, and then there's a whole bunch of crap up here that that I have, and it's like but and I do have a bunch of other stuff like in my living room, um, yeah, and but yeah, I need to represent a lot more, and it's just
Oh yeah, no. Uh, yeah, it's like on my show, I'm still figuring out the work schedule. Everybody that I'm still doing the show. I did get confirmation from a friend of ours, which when we get off camera, I'll talk to you about it, John.
okay, doke.
Uh, but yeah, it's like it's weird. I start work at 5 o'clock in the morning, and like yesterday and today, I was off of work at 11 a.m.
That's not
And
bad.
like Tuesday, I was off at work at 1:15 in the afternoon.
Hmm.
So my schedule is it's the getting off time, but start off. I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning my time, and I leave to go to work at 4:30. And I was like, you know what? I got partial paycheck because I got paid for 2 days in the last pay period. I got good news, everybody. I did get my unemployment benefits, so I paid rent and paid a bunch of bills, and as a way to treat myself, I saw this movie and
I finally started to
part
get my disability. I was so excited.
nice.
Which then they sucked like all the insurance out of it that I hadn't paid because I hadn't gotten paid yet. So they're like, "Oh yeah, you need to pay your
Hmm.
insurance." I'm like, "Oh good." So, so it's like I fucking give up. All right, but let's get back
Uh,
on track here. So
but
so we both love the movie. I mean, haters gonna hate. I mean, and here's the thing: I don't
mhm,
want to piss people off. I don't care if I piss people off. But like I said, I'm on social media. I've joined some groups on Facebook and stuff like that. There's a lot of bitching and moaning among kaiju fans.
mhm.
And here's the thing that pisses me off the most. And I so want to just start like responding, but then if I do, it'll just lead to more and it's exhausting and I just don't want to do it. But everybody's bitching about this movie about how Godzilla isn't a factor in this movie. And I'm like, Are you
Um,
serious?
how the hell is he not a factor?
Listen, that's
Kong, even
okay.
with
Okay,
the
hang on. Let
gauntlet
me
on,
finish.
is
Let me finish.
yeah. What the
Okay, so they say that he's just backup to Kong. Okay, for one thing, which is total bullshit. If anything, he's the one. Kong can't do it, and he needs Godzilla's like, yeah, I'll fucking yeah,
I'm.
just point me in the
This is the
direction.
Carl Weather moment right
Yeah,
now. It's like this. Carl
exactly.
Weathers right here for me.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, and then everybody's like, he's not in the movie that much. I'm like, what fucking Godzilla movie? Because, and a guy on Facebook who was like, listen, here's all the Godzilla movies, and here are all the running times that he's actually in the movie. Some he's in like 25, 30 minutes, but for the most part, it's like 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 12 minutes, 13 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you be a Godzilla fan and complain that he's not in the movie a lot? Godzilla's claim to fame is he doesn't show up because if he showed up all the time, you'd be like, all right. But Godzilla, okay, like in the first Godzilla in the MonsterVerse, they're like, he wasn't in it a lot. I'm like, duh. He's like, he's
Hmm.
never in it a lot. He shows up and then it's like, yeah. And it's like, and I can't understand how people are bitching about him not being, he was in this movie. Granted, he didn't
Yeah.
have like a story arc. Well, he had a story arc, but like everybody's bitching about Kong. And then I didn't know you had to be either Team Kong or Team Godzilla. You couldn't be both. It's like DC and Marvel. It's like you can't be a Marvel fan or just a Marvel fan or DC. You can't be both. You got to be one or the other. It's like fuck off. It's like I can enjoy King Kong. And let me tell you, King Kong is in badass shape. He's got a six pack. He's rocking the beard.
Yeah.
You know, he is in fighting shape in this movie. And I love King Kong. I mean, I hate the fact that he dies in most of his, he falls off the goddamn building. But
Well,
Godzilla is never yeah,
yes.
thank you. It's like
Yes.
he shows
I,
up when he's supposed to. It's like and it's like and the guy was I wish I could find the post and he literally took every Godzilla movie and like, he did from most to least. And there were some movies where he was in it for like 5 minutes. And I'm like, really? 5 minutes? He's only in the movie for five
yeah.
minutes? But yeah, it's like, so
Uh,
everybody that's bitching about Godzilla not in this movie a lot, one, he is, and he's in it enough.
yeah.
Like it's like okay, it's like they're doing their thing. You got the humans, you got Doc and Gia and Trapper, doing their thing and
Bernie.
everything. And then there's like, oh, Godzilla kicks the shit out of this thing, and then they go back to Kong, and then and then Godzilla kicks the shit out of this thing, and then they go back to King Kong and everything, and then he's there at the end like he's supposed to be. It's like you guys.
Hmm.
Do you see how passionate I am about it? Because I got so pissed off.
Oh,
And I said that in my I'm like, listen, it's a Godzilla movie and they're like, Godzilla's King Kong's bitch. And I'm like, how? Okay, this Godzilla is the most badass Godzilla ever. Find me I love this picture. That just shows you how the MonsterVerse and how Warner Brothers and Legendary took
yeah.
such care into designing the Godzilla. It's like it's my favorite. I'll say it right now. I mean, and I've been with Godzilla since I was fucking 5 years old. This is my favorite
Oh yeah.
incarnation of Godzilla. He is badass in all of these movies. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah. It's like I'm a bigger Godzilla fan than I am Kong. I saw Peter Jackson's King Kong opening weekend theatrically.
But I
I
did
forgot it
too,
was.
and I'm like, oh, he fell off the building. I'm like,
Oh
yay!
yeah.
You know what's gonna
But
happen?
and these
It's like
I like my first. I think hell, first exposure to King Kong was the remake, the late 70s
Jeff
remake.
Bridges, the one with Jeff. It was the
Jeff
miniseries.
Bridges,
Yeah,
yes.
it was the Jeff and Jessica Lange. Yeah. Where he was
Yeah,
on the
Jeff
World Trade
Bridges.
Center. Yeah, he was on the
Yeah,
World
and it
Trade
was
Center in that one.
the
Yeah.
F-14's coming out and taking him out, and Jeff Bridges is like looking in a window, like practically crying. And
Yes.
that was my first exposure to him.
And then at the end,
But
he's on the ground. You hear the heartbeat, and then he dies. And Jeff Bridges is looking. Just Lang looks back at him. He's just like, I don't know what to do. It's just like,
mhm. But I love Godzilla movies because he is a force of nature. Like the old song says, is
I want to get this and hang it up on my
nature points
fucking. I
out
want
the
to get
folly
this
of man.
as large as I can and hang it up on my fucking wall. That is just
Oh, that'd be
badass
great.
Godzilla right there. And I will fight you tooth and nail to the end if you disagree.
Get it like on a metal. They make a metal poster with like the shine there.
Yes.
That But
And let me
Godzilla
can I
is
just say that
awesome
the
in these movies.
MonsterVerse gave us, like, again, going back to the Muto in the first, he the most ultimate badass Godzilla kill ever in
Hmm.
Kaiju history, right there, big time. All right, oh, Tan has joined. Tan, if you're watching, I got all
I
your
agree.
questions. I was telling Shane the other time off camera, we are going to do a mailbag episode. I just have to figure out when the hell I'm going to, between all the interviews I'm doing and all this shit. But we will get to it. All right. So he says, I'm hoping that Gamera will make its debut in Monsterverse. It would be amazing to see. Yep. Shane was just saying the same thing. Yep.
Yep.
That's what everybody else wants to
I
see.
Yeah, that would be the best showdown for a movie is Godzilla versus Gamera, because Gamera
Oh,
is
have
was
them be on
developed.
opposite sides? Who would be the good
Yes,
guy?
that
Eh, Gamera would have to be the bad guy because they've established Godzilla as the Earth's savior in the MonsterVerse.
well, I was gonna say, well, in the MonsterVerse, yes, but in the other movies, Gamera is actually
Well, if
called the
Toho does
Guardian
it,
of.
they could just make them both bad and just like fucking kick the
Yeah,
shit out of each other.
exactly. It's this movie. I did like how you got Godzilla versus Shimu and Kong versus Scar King. Uh,
He wants to know what's your favorite Godzilla movies. What kind?
It depends. If we talk about MonsterVerse, like I said, it was Godzilla, King of the Monsters. This is number two for me, and then the original or the 2014 Godzilla. But I will have to say for the Japanese, I have to go with Godzilla 2000, and then Final Wars. Those are
See,
mine.
if you're like, again, mine's an unpopular opinion, but if I went with my Toho pick, it's Final Wars because I just love this shit. I mean,
Yeah.
one, it's got
Oh
martial
yeah.
arts in it. I'm like, it's a Godzilla movie with guys doing martial arts. It's like The Matrix, and it's just a shit show, but
Oh,
in
I
such
will.
a great
I will
way.
even
It's a shit show
top that.
in a great way. It's like,
What movie can we get Dan Fry and Kane Kosogi in it? Come on.
yes, 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 Kane. I wish Kasugi was the good guy in it. He says,
He was
I
a
don't even know the lead actor's name, but we all know what happens to Kane Kasugi in the movie. But it's like I wish he would have been like he had the big fight at the end because we all know what a
mhm.
talent Kane Kasugi is. So he was kind of wasted in
Oh
that movie.
yeah.
But I love Final Wars just because it was the last film for that era, so they went out with the biggest bang ever. They're like, we're just gonna have Godzilla fight every single fucking monster he's ever fought in the history up to there. And I liked how he looked. I mean, it
Hmm.
was it was the again it was Toho special effects and everything. But yeah, I have to go. My least favorite is Shin Godzilla because I just couldn't get behind the how he was transforming, and
The transforming right there on
some of
screen.
that
Yeah.
shit just got weird, and I was just like, it's not a Godzilla movie. It wasn't a Godzilla movie for me anymore.
See, for me, it's like I'm one of the weird people. I do like the human interactions in the Godzilla movies, but like
That's
this
fine.
is a perfect example. This is the perfect example. Godzilla X Kong. You saw because you actually care. Trapper's being weird as all hell, and you love him. Like I said, I was annoyed as hell with Bernie in the last movie, but in this one, I loved Bernie. Yeah. So, I honest to God, when
Such a shit show, but so
I
in such
watched
a great way. I'm sorry.
oh yeah,
Go on.
but like Shin Godzilla, I'd have to admit that's on like the lower end for me because all the political talking bullshit.
Oh my god, it was so heavy-handed after a while. I was just like, "Oh my god, this is like." Godzilla minus one wasn't even that.
Yeah,
I mean, Godzilla minus one got heavy. Like, you haven't seen it yet, and I'm not gonna. It was
yeah.
heavy as shit. It was probably the heaviest Godzilla movie. And God, let me tell you, besides the MonsterVerse, this Godzilla and Godzilla minus one, the scariest Godzilla ever. This Godzilla was just like, and he's not a good guy by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh
He's
yeah,
like,
that's
I
what I've
want to
heard.
fucking kill everybody on this goddamn planet, and it. Oh my god! But it wasn't even that bad in terms of like and it kind of did get.
It's like this movie. I liked But
There's one movie from the Godzilla franchise that I saw, the Godzilla 1998 movie. I know that it didn't get the best response when it came out, but the movie was a lot. It was okay. It was a lot of fun. It just wasn't a Godzilla movie.
yeah.
That's the issue. It's like Matthew
Well, I will
Broderick was
say this,
great in it. I mean, I liked Jean
I
Reno
will
was
say
in it.
that
It's like
I will shout out another YouTube channel, Digital Corridor, where they do movie special effects. I w- Ty Lord, I would love
Listen,
to go
the
see
man was out of
minus
work
one
for a
at.
while. He couldn't just go to the
Yeah,
movies. It's like I know how
yeah.
it
I
is.
was.
It's like-
It's like I was unemployed for almost 2 months, and
But it
I
sucks.
am on my
You know
second
what,
week.
Shane? It sucks, and you know why? Because nobody fucking knows when that movie's gonna come out because they had to take it out of the theater. Godzilla minus one was only supposed to play in American theaters for a week. 1 week.
Yeah, I know, and they
But
extended it.
it was so popular that they extended it, but they took it out in February because the trailer for Godzilla X Kong was coming out, and they didn't want.
Yep.
Legendary was afraid, like, oh, it's like if we have this Godzilla movie playing in theaters, nobody's going to want to see this Godzilla movie. I'm like, are you fucking serious? If you keep the Godzilla movie, Godzilla minus one in the theaters, that's going to make people even want to see God. I'm trying to move without my shoulder, but they're going to try. They're going to try to like. They're going to want to see Godzilla X Kong even more. But now
Yeah.
it's coming out on Blu-ray in Japan with no subtitles in June, and we have no idea when we're going to be getting it.
Mm,
So you have no, I feel for you, man, because
no, and
I
it's
have
coming
no
out
idea.
next month in Japan next month,
Yeah,
like May
with with no
with no subtitles. Yeah, that kind of pisses me off. But I oh, see, it's like I keep hearing nothing but good things about like
98
Charlie.
is fun. Okay, yes. If we have established one thing on this stream, the 98 Godzilla is a fun movie. But listen, the Godzilla in 98 got its ass kicked by a bridge. Do you know what the Monster versus Godzilla did to a bridge when it first came up to it in the first one? It fucking destroyed the shit out of it. It's
Uh,
like so it's like
I was gonna say this is a tie-in to what I said about the Monarch show. How they introduced the main character. She was on one of the buses on the on the bridge, and you actually see Godzilla right there. And and it's the legendary Godzilla. And I like how they take elements in Godzilla. There's certain scenes in it where Godzilla pops up, and especially in the last episode, he's fucking awesome and glorious in it.
that's what I heard. I heard like
And
what is it, the last episode where the big kaiju fight is? And it's like a
yeah,
movie. It's like a movie, they said.
oh
And
yeah,
which
and
is fine. But that's what I would expect. I haven't seen Monarch yet, but I would expect not to see Godzilla action until like the second to last or last episode because it's like one long Godzilla movie. So it's like,
well,
and
yeah,
then
it's like
Tyler says maybe the normies would be confused between the two Godzilla movies. Yeah, I'm just saying that they should have played Godzilla minus one a little bit longer because it probably would have made even more money.
yeah,
But they were so petrified. Godzilla,
exactly.
he got beat by a bridge, people. A bridge kicked its ass. I mean, come on. I mean, he's getting all tangled up and everything. And then the Godzilla in the Godzilla 2014 is just like, he's just like,
Just most of it. Even
get the
in
fuck
this
out of here.
movie, Godzilla in this movie, how many bridges did he swim through?
Yeah,
He goes
that's
through
what we're
like
talking
3
about.
bridges all at once, and he's like, "Nope, I don't give a shit."
I don't give a
It's like,
flying F. Yeah.
yeah,
And and then it was funny because in Godzilla X Kong, at the beginning when the drones are attacking Godzilla, and Bailey's like, my daughter Bailey, she's like, why are they attacking Godzilla? He's supposed to be a good guy, right? I'm like, it's complicated. It's like they're just and
he's destroying a nuclear
they know
reactor.
that they're not going to hurt him. They're just trying to slow him down a little bit because he's pissed off. So,
Yeah, it's that all you're gonna get is a pissed off one, and what ends up
yeah,
happening is he sleeps in a national monument of
yeah.
Italy in the
He's just like,
Colosseum,
you know what?
and he fits perfectly in there, and that's like his favorite nap spot.
And I
I
just he's Mr. Grumpy Pants. He's like, I'm gonna save the world, but you
exactly.
know what? I don't care if I wreck some cities. If I step on you, you should have got out of the way. Sorry. It's like, but I'm still
Well,
gonna save
I
the
will
world.
admit, it's like at the end of the movie when they do show him curling up in the Colosseum again, the Italian police are like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah,
Again?
they're like, "Come
Whatever.
on!" It's like seriously. It's
Yeah,
like people pay money to come see this thing, and now you're freaking sleeping in it. It's like, how are we supposed to sell tickets? Although they probably could sell tickets, if he's dormant.
they could probably. Yeah, it's like
Hey,
have
come see
helicopters
Godzilla
flying around.
in the Coliseum.
Yep.
But
And
yeah, so going back to what I was talking
but
about earlier, like I just can't. The complaints, it's like people find. I think they go out of their way to find things to complain about. Because I'm watching this movie and I'm like, this is exactly why I would go see this kind of movie, you know.
mhm,
And it's like, is it perfect? Hell no. It's because
no,
and then there's
I
people saying like, you got to be a serious Godzilla fan, or you can't be a legendary Godzilla fan where all the goofiness and shit, and
was
you
gonna say,
you can't like the Showa era and like Godzilla -1 at the same time. It's like, yes, you can.
or
It's like it's whatever mood
you
you're in.
can't like the Heisei era
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
or
like
the show.
show, you
Yeah,
can't like Heisei and or Millennium. You
yeah.
know what? People stop being hypercritical of this stuff. They're fun ass movies. Enjoy them.
Can I just say
I
that? Just be happy that they're still making Godzilla movies.
exactly.
It's like, hello.
Exactly. I can name some movies off the top of my head right now that they introduced and people forgot about them. Like Titan Creations has actually gotten the toy rights for Gorgo, and they were doing the toy rights for Young Gary,
Oh, why the hell not?
and yeah, and
I
I
like
love
this
how they
picture right
brought
here. Not
back
to
the
interrupt
X.
you, but I like this picture right here because in the movie, Mothra's right there,
Hmm.
but they took him out because they didn't want to spoil anything.
Well,
Because
you can kind of see like what could have been like Mothra's wings,
yeah,
or that
yeah,
little hump at the bottom there could have
yeah,
been. Oh no, that's the Sphinx because
right,
like
yeah,
we said, spoiler, Gia's right there on top of the Sphinx. Mothra's right behind her,
yeah,
and I just loved how like even when the gravity trap works, the heave is dropping, and you're like, oh shit, they're gonna die, and Mothra comes to the rescue, just swoops in.
right. It's like, let's just watch. Like I'm just gonna show this as we're talking because it's just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like okay, yeah, and I love the robotic hand because it kind of toughens Kong up and makes him more of a badass.
Hmm.
You know,
And
and
yeah,
I love
here's the scene I'm
where he's
talking about
wrecking
where
bridges.
Godzilla's
He's like, you
destroying
know what,
bridges.
I'm swimming and I'm, you know, and I love the sentiment. I love the bond he
Hmm.
has with Gia. It's a good time. And the plot's a little hokey. I mean, yeah, I mean, you got to have a plot. I mean, you got to have a reason why all this is happening in the first place. And a lot of people said that the Doc's character was useless. Like she was just exposition for the movie, like to kind of like tell people in the audience what was going on. I'm like, I didn't get that at all. Like I said, I liked her chemistry with Gia and like the mommy daughter thing. So yeah, let's defend her a little bit because like that's kind of harsh.
Rebecca Hall did a great job. You
Yes,
know, she had more to do in this movie than she
you have a
did in the
fan.
last one.
Or
Uh, and
Ooh, how
I
about
love Trapper.
Reptilicus?
Yes, Reptilicus is was the American name for the Young Gary remake. And that one kind of pissed me off because they actually did guys in suits for the final fight, but
Yes.
the director didn't care for that one, so he went CGI.
Mhm.
But I will watch Reptilicus. I actually enjoy it. Is it a great film? Hell no.
No,
But it exists. It's a
it
kaiju
exists.
film.
It
And
does.
like this scene, like how I loved how in this part, like the Scar King, this is legitimately how they introduced him, how Kong gets into a fight. The little or shit, I already forgot his name. Baby Kong, as Bernie calls him. Sure. It's not like he's trying to go, oh, I want. Yeah, this is the reason why. That's the reason why he gets the robotic hand, people. Right there.
Yep.
But as Bernie calls him, Baby Kong is actually through her beginning part of the movie trying to kill Kong, trying to hurt him, which I absolutely enjoy
And
the
can
hell out of.
and can
But
I
yeah,
just
this
say
is like
I
gonna
love
be
how they make Godzilla like fucking
fucking
like he's
awesome.
running now. He's like, because he was kind of like lumbering and everything. Now that
Oh
fucker's running
god,
a
yeah.
mile in like 8 minutes. It's like it's
And like
Yeah.
right here, like I was talking about this earlier, Kong is like trying to hide from this from Godzilla here, and it's not just him because during the massive fight, he destroys part of Rio, and the Scar King is doing the same thing. And
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of a cool callback in the beginning of the movie because Kong has the infected tooth, and they replace it with something else. And in
Yeah,
that
the
scene, he
titanium or
punches the
like
Scar
the
King.
strong, yeah, like the strongest metal, like
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, that scene was great. It's like this movie had a bunch of iconic scenes in it, and I thoroughly enjoyed the hell out of it.
Oh my
And
god, so good. Like,
oh yeah, so good.
like I said,
I
like with what I've had to deal with in the past 6 months, I'm like, it just made me smile and it made me like
oh yeah,
nostalgic for being 5 and watching these movies on WUAB Channel 43. I'm sure they probably I don't know. I don't even know if they're around anymore because like I haven't lived in
oh
Ohio for
god.
years. But yeah, that was the
Mhm.
affiliate I watched them on, and then after that it was VHS tapes, like because then I
Oh
I
yeah.
I
Well,
just
I will show
I got
you.
them all.
It's like so people can know. I have to watch it.
Mhm.
I have the classic Ishiro Honda Godzilla.
Wow, look at you. Jeez.
Oh yeah,
God dang.
yeah. Whoo.
Ooh.
uh,
If I had
there's a
the
reason
money, I
why I
would
say I'm
buy
the
the
action.
like there's a they have the show up films, all of them for like
Oh
$99.
god,
I'm like,
yeah.
ooh.
Last I heard, the Millennium Series. Just Gong say groovy. Oh, wow, that would have been on. You kind of
I
get that
he
insinuation.
well, he throws his arm up in the air like he just doesn't care,
Yep.
he does that. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
But no, like they got the like they were advertising a new box set for Godzilla, the Millennium or this whole thing, like,
Mm,
and they were like jokingly referring, saying, "Oh, it's gonna come out at the December 31st because they don't have a release date for this movie."
no.
They or even the box set, which is for like 4K, over $100. And I'm like, I just need this movie. I already own the rest on 4K.
I swear to
But
God, when I start like when my income is more, like standard, I because I had all the gods well up to that point, but like again, moving and this and that and life and everything, shit just happens, and I only have so many in my repertoire right now. Like Godzilla Final Wars, I got um the Mecha Godzilla ones from the Showa era. I have the Millennium one, but it's just like there's so many holes. I don't even
yeah,
know.
I have all of the Millennium series on Blu-ray, but part of the reason why is when they released those on Blu-ray, it was dual movies on the
Mhm,
same disc. So
mhm, 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 mhm.
that's the main reason why I did that. One that I thought was actually quite interesting in that one was Godzilla. Oh God, I'm gonna murder this. Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah.
Tokyo
Oh
SOS
God, yeah.
is that that?
No, no. Like this is in this one. It's the only Godzilla movie where King Ghidorah is a good guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yep.
And the whole concept was Godzilla. They rebooted it with this one. Godzilla was the spirit representation of all the fallen, all the killed Japanese people from World War II.
Mhm.
It was his spirit.
Mhm.
And so he was a straight up bad guy.
Mhm.
And I like how in these films he's a good guy. He's a grumpy good guy,
Yep.
but he's a good guy.
I've
And
always liked good Godzilla over bad Godzilla because bad Godzilla gets old. Like, okay, yeah, he's bad, he's wrecking cities, and then they have to find a way to kill him. When he's a good guy, there's more play with him in my
yeah,
eyes. There's more things you can do with a good Godzilla than a bad. Because how many times can you have bad Godzilla come up from the ocean? Radiation, like yes. man bad,
Mhm.
created Godzilla. Godzilla is our punishment, and he's wrecking Tokyo. It's like it's just
Well, I
that's my opinion. I think I always and as a kid growing up, I love and again I was introduced to the Showa era films as a kid, and that was him kicking ass in those goofy films, next to Jet
oh,
Jaguar,
yeah, it's like
So,
those
so
films are
I've
great.
always been a bigger fan of the good Godzilla because I'm such a Godzilla fan. I like to see him as a hero kicking ass as opposed to being the
Mhm.
bad guy. That's why I haven't watched the Netflix animated ones either, because I haven't gotten to those yet. Just because I am, you know, it's like it's bad Godzilla,
Uh,
So
I will tell
and you're
you to
saying
keep
not to,
Sharp Object.
John, just don't bother
Yeah, I'm
watching it all.
telling you not to.
Okay.
It's honestly, they dropped the ball so hard with those ones.
I
Yeah,
like yes, I'll go one better than you, Tyler. I love grumpy good guy Godzilla.
Grumpy Good Guy Godzilla is awesome. Yeah,
Grumpy
Grumpy
good
Good
guy
Guy
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
GGG. GGGGG. Yeah, yeah, grumpy good guy Godzilla. And I love him in this movie. Like they gave him more of a
Oh, he did a great
personality,
job.
because he's just like he's
I
aggravated. He's just it's like he's gotten to the point where he's pissed off because like he has to keep saving everybody and like
Yeah,
it's like and I would have loved for in the movie for him to at one point in the movie just be like all right. It's just like have
yeah.
to be
Well,
like this is like
I remember back in 2014, people were pissed with how he looked because oh, he's fat, he's overweight, and all this
It
stuff.
was but I didn't see him as fat though. It was
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't see it as fat Godzilla. I saw it as
Well, I know
humongous,
people
big
were
ass,
saying it as
badass
the now
Godzilla.
you know now in this one he starts off and then
He is
I'm
skinnier
gonna
now.
get some.
They did slender
Oh
his
yeah,
frame,
the evolved
from
the
yes.
evolved form is slender than hell.
Yeah.
He is more destructive than hell. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's sprinting across the thing, and he's out. He's Kong jumps onto him because he's like, "Oh shit, I can't keep up."
Right.
So, and
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean, here, and I'll put him back up. Yeah, like this is the best picture I got. Right, yeah. So yeah, he's
oh yeah,
definitely, but he's still got some girth to him. But I never saw him as
oh
fat
yeah,
Godzilla. Like like when
yeah.
people were bitching
I do
about that,
remember some people were
I did not
pissed off
agree with
that
that.
it
Yeah,
but in this one, he slimmed down after he evolves, and I'm like, you know what? I don't care. He's still fucking awesome looking. He's badass. Like even Monarch's like, oh wow,
I
he's
like his face
jacked.
too. Like
Uh-huh.
I like how they did his face. For the MonsterVerse. I like
Yeah,
not that I didn't like you know what I'm saying? It's just my favorite. Like I said, and I'm sorry that
oh
I don't
yeah.
want to like offend Toho like extremists or anything like that. They like how can you say you like the American version over, It's like because they did a good job. And I think it's the
Uh,
most badass looking Godzilla there is. I'm sorry. That's
no,
my
yeah.
opinion.
It's
Sticking to it.
we are not the only ones. A guy I follow on YouTube. I believe it was Matty McMuscles.
Maddie
He actually.
McMuscles. Okay. Shout out to Maddie McMuscles. All right.
He
I
actually, I believe he was saying that this was his favorite version of Godzilla as well,
Well, good.
and
Well, I know I'm not
I
alone,
can be
but I'm just
misquoting it, but
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, in terms of it's just he's just it's badass. It's a badass
oh
guys.
yeah,
They did they were I know in the meeting when they were like, okay, we got to figure out how to like create a new Godzilla, and they're badass. Let's just make
hmm
the most badass looking Godzilla, and that's what they did, and I love it. And like the Showa era Godzilla is like if you compare the Showa era like Godzilla to this one, it's like it looks like a Muppet. I'm like it's just like
yeah,
it's like
exactly.
so not that I again people don't no hate mail. I love like I said I grew up with those, but I'm just saying if you put the two together, it's just there's no
I was
comparison.
gonna say
Which one's more badass looking?
I was gonna say, well, you gotta also look at Godzilla 1984. The Godzilla in that was majority was a robot,
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
an animatronic, and well, the eye is messed up. Like you'd have one like here, and it was kind of like he had a lazy eye,
Yeah, and then the same thing
and
with Shin Godzilla. I hated his eyeballs in Shin Godzilla. They're like beady eyes. Like they were like these
yeah, he was
like
just
yeah. I like I said like Like if when I collect, I don't even know if I'll get Shin Godzilla because I just did not enjoy that
I
movie
have
that much.
Shin Godzilla on Blu-ray. I did like the scene where he does his atomic breath for the first time and how it comes out as just fire
No, there's good.
dumping
I
out and
just don't like
spreading.
how because it wasn't Godzilla all the way through. Like he was transforming and
Yep.
like I was just like it just took me out of it as a Godzilla fan. I'm like even I wouldn't have mind because he's bad Godzilla, but it's just like him
hmm
transforming into other. I was just like I'm not having fun with this anymore. That's my opinion.
it's we got the it's. I'm just thinking more Godzilla is better. I don't care what people are saying. You could be a fan of the Japanese Godzilla. You can be a fan of the American ones. You can be a fan of both. Good on you. We have more Godzilla.
You can be a Marvel DC and like you don't have to pick people. You can like this about that and Shin Godzilla. Hey, I have a fan. It's just like, yeah, I did not enjoy it. But yeah, I don't understand the people that are such extremists where they're like, you got to pick one or the other and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's
Even
just
I was
makes no
watching that
sense.
Fat Samurai guy the other day. I was going through his videos and just watching because I was watching his because he had seen Godzilla X Kong and he had a reaction video he put out with him and his wife, and he was saying the same thing, like how like they're like people. It's like it's okay,
hmm
it's okay. it's, you know,
Yeah, it's okay.
like you're not shitting on this Godzilla if you like that Godzilla, or it's like
Yeah.
Roadhouse. Like if I had liked the new Roadhouse movie more than I did, which I did not. Spoiler alert if you have not seen the review yet. It's okay. Like if you like a remake, it's okay. You still love the original, but you're not
hmm
shitting on it because you like the remake. You can like it. It's okay. That's all I gotta say. 2 words.
Sure.
It's okay. That's it. it's
And
okay.
th- this movie was. I just. Yeah, the movie was awesome. Like I, there was. I will admit there was a couple of the special effects that I was like, "What
Did you
genre
watch
did
it? Let me
that?"
know if you watched it and what you thought of it. Sorry.
There was a couple of the special effects that, like when you see Godzilla's atomic breath coming out of the water after he was fighting Tiamat. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that I was like, that didn't look too good, but
Okay.
the rest of it
Well, the worst
made up
CGI
for
I
it for
thought was
me.
with the ship when they were going to Hollow Earth. That looked like a video game. Like that looked like
No,
that
yeah,
thing that when it was flying, it just looked like, you know what, we have to cut corners somewhere. Let's cut it here. And that's that.
yeah.
But the
Well, like I said,
monsters,
this was the.
all the monsters, I thought,
Oh,
like all the monster action, I thought was
well,
it
like I
looked
said, this had
looked
the
good.
lowest budget out of all the MonsterVerse movies. I read that. I was reading that somewhere.
Well,
Go see it.
dude, Tyler. I'm so sorry that we spoiled like all this shit for you. You should have stopped watching. I mean, I would have been offended if you didn't watch us. It's like, thank you for watching and supporting, but it's like
But yeah, it's like,
I feel bad that I spoiled like some stuff for you. Now you're gonna be going into it like knowing a lot of stuff.
oh, well,
It's the pain
he's probably
meds.
saying, well,
It's the pain. I'm not on pain meds
uh,
anymore. I had to stop taking them because
uh,
I didn't want to get addicted.
uh, but
Plus, you
yeah,
can't
it's
do
like
drug
this
testing.
movie was fun. You know, my only complaint
I
about
gave it.
movies
Well,
nowadays is,
go on. I'm just
I
trying
was
to.
gonna say my biggest complaint is, like I used to love going to movies to see the trailers, and nowadays you can see the trailers before the movies come out. Like I didn't
Yep.
even, I when I saw the Bad Boys 4 preview, I was like, What? This ain't the preview." John and I reacted to the actual preview,
Yeah.
but you know, all the scenes in order of, yeah, it's like I liked this movie. This
I
was
gave
a
it a 4
fun
out of
movie.
5, as you can see. I gave
I
it
was
a
gonna
near
say,
perfect score.
yeah, I was actually gonna say, because if it wasn't for some of the shoddy special effects, in my opinion, 4.5.
Listen, okay, and this is going off topic. Shane, you haven't seen Space Wars, have you?
No, I have not.
Okay, so let me just talk to Tyler here. Let me just talk mano a mano with Tyler. Yeah, so Space Wars is a throwback style, like we're talking throwback sci-fi. it's an independent production, but the special effects are legit. Like, it's got really good special effects. Like, when I was watching this movie, I was like, "Holy shit! Where did they get the money and how did they do it?" Like, with because the special effects for one thing. Michael Pare is always a badass. Olivier Gruner's great in it. He's like a bad guy, but he's like there's a lot of funny moments in it. And Sarah French. Sarah, if you're watching, I interviewed her and the cast. She's hot. You're hot. Okay, you're a wonderful actress, and she does a lot of horror stuff, which I haven't seen. She's a big time horror actress, but she's uh, it's I love you. But Michael Pare and Olivia Gruner are great in it, and it's a fun movie, and I got to talk with the whole cast, and they were just like super cool, and it was a lot of fun. But
there was one movie I.
it's okay. I'll forget by tomorrow. Maybe drink a little.
One movie
Maybe
I'll.
like if you have a hangover, you'll forget about it. Or Star Crash, yes, Star Crash, yes.
I
Or
will.
Space Mutiny with Red Brown. Oh my god, that's such a good show.
There's one movie that I will give as a throwback. It's like a giant monster movie / Moby Dick in space. It's called Beyond White Space.
I have no idea what that movie is. I have not seen that movie. Or
You know, the special effects in that are great. It's a low budget one. Some of the story,
yeah,
it's about a space captain who, because they do like
ooh, a
wait
space
kind of
captain.
space wheel.
Is
Yeah,
it like
it's like
Battleship Yomito? It's like
no, it's more like Moby Dick in space.
Starblazers. Oh, Moby Dick is there an actual whale in space? What? I mean, I'm confused.
It's like a giant space monster. It's
That
a
looks like a
white
whale?
giant space monster.
Does it look like a whale? If it walks, talks.
No, it's not. It's sadly it does not look like Will. But
Is
like the
is
whole
this an
concept is
Asian
this.
production or is this a is
It's
this
an American.
it's American movie? Okay, you're gonna have to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check this out.
The lead actor, I'm gonna butcher his last
Tyler
name,
needs to
is
see Beyond White Space. So do I. I'm like, I will look this movie up. I'm not gonna lie. As soon as we get off, I'm gonna look Beyond White Space up. And hell, I'll do it right now. Hang
let's
on a
see it.
second. Let me get on the IMDb here. Hang on, because
Yeah.
I can do two
When you
things at
see the
once. I
cast,
can
you're gonna be
talk
like, what the
and
hell?
I can run a show and look shit up at the same time.
Oh yeah, we can do multiple things. It's like
Oh
when
yeah,
you
we
see the
multitask
cast.
here on the show.
Oh yeah,
We are experts. Oh
oh
my
yeah.
god, this looks
But yeah,
fucking awesome.
Beyond White Space came out uh in 2018. It you know Well, like,
Okay,
all
hang
right,
on.
I'll read the synopsis. The synopsis is the USS Essex is traveling in the furthest reaches of the universe when it encounters a gigantic creature after pirates steal their cargo and most of their supplies. The crew decide to capture the creature. Yeah, right there.
Wow, check that
You
thing out.
got people.
Hey,
Yeah.
who's that? I like her.
Well, you should see. It's like
Listen, I'm single
that.
now. I'm
She's there.
single now. So now it's like when I was married,
That is the lead
I was
female
respectful
character.
to my wife. Now I'm like everybody's hot. So there's
But
another
yeah,
one.
see, and this
Good lord.
was
Oh,
independent film.
is that Holt
He
McCullany?
yes.
I love
Yes,
him. He's
he
in this
is the
movie.
star of the movie. He's the space captain. He's actually getting because the
Yeah.
giant
This
alien
looks
fleet
good.
ends up killing his brother.
Ooh, look at
Yeah,
that. Halo jumping. Wow.
that's what they do. They like salvage stuff in space in those suits, and his brother gets killed by the giant monster, and that's the reason why he goes after the monster.
Hey, she's hot.
He wants.
She's got that girl next door hotness vibe going for her. Hey, look, it's probably the
But
director.
yeah, there's some space monsters in the movie. Like they get kind of like a giant space
Wow, look at
crab,
that. That's a good
and
picture right there. Look
yeah,
at that. It's got a big tongue. It looks like a
yeah.
big snake. Like a big freaking like
Kinda. But yeah, that's is it the best movie? Not really, but it's a fun one. Uh,
Tyler's in love. So am I. Jesus.
yeah.
I gotta see this movie.
I was gonna say I enjoyed it. Is it like I said, it's not the best movie, but it's a fun one. You
It
get to
looks
see a
good.
guy in
I
a.
love Holt. I love him. I love that
I was
actor.
gonna say
And
that suit that they have there. You get to see a guy shoot another dude in the face with a spear out of one of those things.
When was this made? Okay, let me
2018.
2018, so it's not that old. Okay, hang on a second.
Uh,
Hang on. Here, let's we're, we're watching the trailer now. Like
and yes, this is all the effects in the movie. That's how the effects look in the movie.
wow, how did I miss this? Look at that. That is
That's the very next step.
badass.
Yeah.
Vertical Entertainment puts out a lot of good stuff, actually. All right, hang on.
Flight pattern match the sightings.
I got a tag on him. Won't be long till he's dead.
I can't let you do that.
You will not stand in my way. I have a guy that'll give us 5 seasons worth of hauls for this thing.
And you expect to get a 16-ton creature across customs?
Wherever that signal goes, we go.
Captain, are you saying this?
We're about as far out as anyone has ever gone. We got 2
I
options.
thought this was a joke. I'm legitimately going to seek this movie out.
We'll get the grand prize.
That looks badass.
I just looked it up. So for all of our watchers that are actually interested in this movie, if you got Prime Video, it's on there. You got Tubi, it's on there. It's free. So, like, I got the Roku app on my phone, so I just typed it in because it tells you what streaming services it's on. The only ones it's not on are Hulu and Netflix. But yeah.
All right, I had to sound up a little loud. Say that again. Sorry, that was my bad.
I was gonna say
I was
if you got
enthralled with the trailer, but it was too loud.
If you have Amazon Prime, it's on there.
I don't.
You got Tubi.
I got
you
Tubi.
got Tubi. It's on there. It's on Tubi.
Tubi.
It's
Can
on
I just say
Vudu.
Tubi is the greatest thing ever when you're broke because it has so much shit on there. Oh my god, like big budget blockbusters and the weirdest shit that you thought you would never find again. And that look. Hey, thanks Shay. Everybody, thanks Shay because that totally got past my radar, but it's not that hard to get past.
Yeah, and you know Colt does a great job in that movie.
I love him. He's
like the like I said, it's like Moby Dick in space, and he's like the Ahab character.
He is.
So, it's on Vudu for free. So it's got ads.
What's on Vudu for free? Oh, there. Okay, all right. Well, I'm definitely good. Like, what's tomorrow? Friday? Yeah, I'm not working yet, so like I'll watch it. It's like I gotta finish Special Ops Lioness though on the Paramount. I have that because when I was working, I did the Walmart thing because if you do the Walmart thing where you get like the free delivery and stuff like that, you get an automatic subscription to Paramount Plus, which I love because I watch so much stuff. I'm watching Halo right now. I'm still on the first season because I haven't been able to go back to watching it, but I'm digging that and Special Ops and I watch a bunch of other stuff on there too. But yeah, but going back to what we were talking about. But yeah, that looks that is like ooh. Like the special effects for an independent and they didn't spend a lot of money on that
budget.
and that's what I love. It's Space Wars Quest for the Deep Stars is the exact same thing. Like and you can see like the budget restraints on some of the scenes in the movie, which is fine because you know what to expect, but the special effects in it I even asked the director. It was a while ago. I'd have to watch the interview again, but I brought it up. I was like, I was impressed with the special effects. I mean, I forgot what he said. I'd have to go back and watch it, but yeah, I was impressed. And this looks like the same thing. I'm like, I'm digging it. Like the monster.
It's not. It's not Godzilla X Kong's special level of special effects, but it's still it's enjoyable.
Looks good enough.
Like I said, it's not the best movies, but it's enjoyable.
Listen, who are you talking to? I love bad movies. I'm the bad movie king. Listen, I love Snake Eyes. Sorry, sue me. And yes, before I get hate mail for that, I'm a lifelong Snake Eyes fan. So fuck all you two because I've been there since 1982, 83 when the freaking G.I. Joe comics started coming out, and I was a Snake Eyes fan from there. Did I love it? No, I did say I loved it. I didn't love it. I liked it. but I would have liked it more if because I knew what they were doing with it, and I knew that, like, he wasn't going to be in the uniform because it was an origin story, and they're like, Snake Eyes never talks. I'm like, yes, he does, assholes. Read the comics. He's talking in the comics. So anyway, that's besides the point. I'm getting off tangent again. But yeah, I love bad movies. I'm all about bad movies, and I'm not on paper.
So yeah, you'll enjoy this, man.
The trailer looks
I
hot, and there's
absolutely-
hot chicks. There's hot chicks. It's like-
Yep. So I'm gonna have to sadly log off because I gotta be up at 3 a.m.
Oh, dude, why didn't you tell me? Listen, I could.
Well,
talk
no,
all
it's all
day.
good. It's all good. So it's all good.
All right, well, let's wrap up your portion of it. So anything to promote, or you're still getting used to your job?
I'm still getting used to everything. Like I said, getting to work at 5 o'clock in the morning, and what hell? It's like today I was off of the clock at like 11. Yesterday and today was like 11 o'clock, and Tuesday was 1 o'clock.
Do you have your kids
So
all weekend?
it's
Is it all
all weekend. Most part of the weekend, I do get my kiddos. I'll probably won't have them until like Sunday late afternoon, early evening.
I get mine on Saturday. Well, I'm spending the whole
So-
day with my 16-year-old, and then I pick up my 8-year-old.
Oh, that's great, man.
Saturday night. But yeah, so sum up your Godzilla X Kong for us. And then,
I enjoyed the movie. My rating is a 4.5 because like I said, some of the
4.5.
special effects are kind of sketch. Some
It
of them
is.
are like a bit sketchy for me, but I'm like, it's a great film. It's enjoyable. Like you said on yours, I was literally eating popcorn when I watched in theaters. I
Popcorn
had
are
fun. I loved,
Kaiju.
I enjoyed the hell out of the human characters in this, where some of them, like, I didn't care for Madison and Godzilla versus Kong. I was like, why the hell is she in this damn movie?
Oh, Millie Bobby
I'm
Brown.
glad she wasn't in. Yeah,
Uh,
I like her as an actress. Don't get me wrong, but I
She
was
was
like,
good
why
in
the hell is the
Damsel. I didn't do a
character
review for Damsel, but a lot of people hated that movie, but I liked it.
I still haven't seen it.
That's fine. That's fine. So Shane gives it a
So,
4.5. So he gives it a half a star more than I did, people. So there you go, right there. I probably could have given it a freaking 5 because I enjoyed it so much. But it's like when I do that, it's like if I do 5s, I'm like 5 out of 5 is kind of like a religious thing, It's like
yeah.
it's so. All right, so
I-
Shane is still on hiatus from his podcast, but you can still find all of his episodes wherever you've listened to your podcast. And I'm on the last 2 he did. Me and Charlie from Give Me Back Your Action and Horror Movies. So yeah, take a listen. So Shane, thank you for joining us and talking all things kaiju. And as you can tell, I was all emotional because that's how much I love this stuff.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah.
And I will. It's odd because if you remember last year, about this time last year is when you and I first actually talked in person on my show because it was WrestleMania weekend when I would talk to you about that.
It
And
was.
this
It
weekend,
was. It
and
was.
this weekend's WrestleMania weekend, man. So
And The
you
Rock's
and
a
I,
bad guy. Who knew?
Yep.
Who would've thought that would happen? I'm
You know,
digging that,
another
though. I'm
guy
digging that they
that
made
I
him a heel.
know.
He's having a lot of fun with it.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they another guy who did a kaiju film, The Rock.
Says put link to Shane. Put the link to what?
You can,
so your podcast. The podcast. Yes.
It's called the Action Nerd. Dudes being dudes talking about movies. You can find it on
it's
most
scrolling underneath right
podcasters.
now. Yes.
Since Google podcast is no longer, which is weird because I still see podcast episodes pop up. That one's down. The only one I am not on currently is Spotify. I'm still having issues with that, but you can find me on any podcasters. You can find me on. My girlfriend listens to the episodes on Audible. You could, let's see. Crap, I got it. I should memorize this.
He was supposed to be getting off the podcast, but look, he can't. He just can't.
But yeah, like my link tree is.
He's like the Godfather. Once I'm out, I think I'm out. They pull me back in.
Yeah, they just pull me right back in. Yeah, my link tree is. I'm currently. I should have it memorized, but it's tr.ee/Shane Logan's my first and last name, where it's all my previous guests. I gotta update that to throw Charlie stuff out on there. All my previous guests, my social media handles. If you want to email me at actionnerdpodcast@gmail.com. So yeah, that's where you can find me, or if you guys message John, he could probably go, "Hey Shane, here." I will. It's like I'm a wrestling fan. I'm actually wearing "Claim Your Kingdom" for
I got
Cody
the
Rhodes. He's
presenting Punisher. Oh, that hurt my
Punisher.
shoulder. See, I do.
Oh damn,
See, I'm
dude.
allowed to
Sorry.
not wear my sling if I'm sitting down, but then sometimes I forget because no. So anyway, Tyler,
But
listen to the last 2 episodes because I'm on it. So because we talked so long, we
yeah,
were only supposed to talk about Roadhouse, the original Roadhouse, but Charlie and I talked for so long that he had to split it up into 2 episodes because we talked about like the future of action.
I also happen to say, listen to my episode on the Replacement Killers, because that's where me and John actually
That was my first.
talked.
Yes, that was my first time on your show. We talked about the Replacement Killers
and
How Young Pop.
and then also to your ACTION-FLIX podcast, the audio version, where we did a retrospective on Brandon Lee's career.
Yes, we did, and that's the first time you showed up on mine. Yes, there. Yes, and we're just the guys that found each other in the night. Two nerds, and we're like, hey, you like action? You like action movies too?
Yeah. It's like, we become good. It's like we're becoming good friends. So
listen, I did a website and a podcast because I definitely have no life now, but that's besides. All right, Shane. Well, you got to go because you got to get up and go to work.
All right.
I do not. I can freaking talk all night if I wanted to, but hopefully I have a job.
Like everybody, like I call it, what I just say, Rule 3 from Roadhouse: be nice until it's time not to be nice.
Treat others as you would want to be treated. The golden rule, people.
But anybody's more than welcome. Like Ty Lord, you can hit me up on
hit him up. Hit him.
On actionnerdpodcast@gmail.com. I don't get a whole lot on there, but I do check it like every other day. So it should pop up. But
and it's the Action Nerd Dudes Being Dudes Talking Movies podcast.
Yeah.
And dudes can be women too. Dudes can be women too.
Exactly.
It's not male specific. He calls everybody dudes.
No, it's
not. That's why it's dudes being dudes.
Well, like like I said, a friend of my show, Jenny Winger.
Mm-hmm.
She's a dude, and I actually said, dudes stand for this, and she was like, I love it. So, but all right, everybody, you have a nice night. I will see you guys later.
All right, Shane, take it easy. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah,
until next time, my friend. All right, bye. Yeah. All right, that was Shane the Action Nerd Logan's. My I'll call him a co-host. I mean, I was calling him guest host, but he's a co-host now because, like, we're doing our thing. So yeah, there you go. So he gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. I gave it a 4. I mean, I probably could, like I said, I probably could have given it a 5. Such a fan of it, and I'm such a it is late. Well, it's not as late. I'm Central Time. I don't know where you are, Tyler, but I'm in Panama City, which is Central Time. So it's only 10:38. So it's not that bad. Plus, I went to see Monkey Man today. That's why I started late. I went to go see Monkey Man down the street for me, and I went to go see it in IMAX, and it wasn't playing. And they had to switch me to another theater, and it started later. So I was like, oh, all right. I have not done my review yet for Monkey Man, of course, because as soon as I got home, I went on to the podcast. But I will be doing my review for Monkey Man. And let me just say, I liked it. Did I have some issues with it? Yes, I did. I did have, you're in California. So, yeah, it's not late for you. Yeah, Shane's over on the West Coast, too. He's in Washington. So, yeah, he's in Spokane. So, yeah, you're right where he is. So cool. You could stick with me because I'll talk for a little bit longer. But Monkey Man, yeah. So Monkey Man with Dev Patel, his intro into action. Let me just real quick. It's kind of a hard movie to watch. It's pretty brutal. It's pretty unflinching. It's not fun by any stretch of the imagination. But the action's solid. They call it the Indian John Wick, and I just don't get that reference because I didn't get anything John Wick from it. I think anytime that they have any type of fight choreography that resembles like what you see in John Wick. I mean, there's not really any gun fu in it. Like, there's not a lot of guns in it. It's mostly like martial arts, hand to hand, knife fighting, and machetes and stuff like that. Spokane has some cool. Oh, yeah, very good. I have never been to the West Coast, so yeah, I would not know. But yeah, but my review will be out tomorrow. By tomorrow, I'm not gonna do it tonight because I'm too spent, and plus my shoulder's killing me. Plus I won't. I might do a video podcast review for it because I just typing right now. And then I do the one-handed thing and it just takes way too long. So I might do a video podcast for Monkey Man. So yeah. So anything else? No, kaiju movies. Gotta love them. Like I said, you can be fans of everything. You can love it all for different reasons. You don't have to be, you're not going to shit on one thing if you like another thing. I mean, come on, people. If you're a fan, you're a fan. So, but yeah, Godzilla X Kong is definitely worth the price of admission. I'm going to go see it again before it leaves the theaters because it's such a wonderful experience, And again, this is one of those type of movies that you have to watch on the biggest screen imaginable because it's just the visuals. And even though some of the CGI is suspect, it doesn't hinder the movie for you. Sorry, I've been drinking some soda, so now I'm belching. But I want to thank everybody for joining me. Tyler, Tan, thank you very much. What else we got? Like all Godzilla's wife and I have all. Well, see, that's the thing. Your wife, see, that's why I'm probably getting a divorce because we just didn't have this in common. I don't know. So it is what it is. But I just got to find somebody down the road if in the future that is a fanboy or fangirl like I am and enjoys this stuff because like I said it's part of me and it'll always be. I'll be 75 and probably still doing this. I'm 51 right now and then like I said the inner kid always wins over. All right, so real quick, couple things. One, I got my big interview. Hang on, let me get onto my website here and I will bring up some things for. I'm going to do a little promotion with my website. And I hope you guys are digging the new website. I upgraded my website. Of course, I was working when I upgraded it. That's besides the point. But yeah, so I got it. I love how it looks now. So basically we got some real good stuff. We got the new trailer for Kill. I'll probably do a trailer reaction for that. That's Indian. Kind of like Dev Patel's Monkey Man. It's a Bollywood movie without the dance numbers, but this movie, oh my god, wow! It looks amazing. So that's up now on the site. They're making a new Matrix movie, another one in development. We got Boy Kills World coming up at the end of the month, and then of course I got my huge interview with Matthias Hughes. Such a fun time with this interview. Oh my god, what a gentleman this guy is. Let me tell you. Such a fan of his. I grew up watching him. I don't want to say grew up. I was already an older teenager / young adult. But yeah, we all know he was the bad guy in virtually every 90s direct-to-video action movie. He's got the new movie The Last Kumite coming out in June, which is a throwback to old school style throwback martial arts actioners that you'd see at Blockbuster Video in the day. That's up now on YouTube and on my website. 2-hour interview, so you don't have to watch it all at once. But such a great guy. So do I. You watch the interview, Tyler. You won't be disappointed. I go through all the movies that I love. We do TC 2000, Bounty Tracker, Talons of the Eagle. His first one, No Retreat, No Surrender 2, Raging Thunder. We talk about it all. And he's such a great guy. And we talk about talk about our love of action movies and 90s action movies. And he's such a freaking, I can't say it enough. He's such a nice guy. And he was a home run, like I said, big time home run. Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah, literally, like if you watch any 90s movie or martial arts action movie from the 90s, chances are 9 times out of 10, Matthias Hughes is in there as the bad guy. He has played good guys like once or twice, but other than that, yeah, nope. he's because he had that look, he had that look. Yeah. So, how can I'm going to do weekly intel tomorrow, Ty Lord. It's going to be during the day probably. But the biggest thing here is John Bernthal is back. Yeah, baby. I'm a fan. He's back as the Punisher in Daredevil Born Again. And we had the new set on set video or pictures of him in full Punisher tactical gear. I'm so excited. Kind of good guy. Yeah, he was Cyberzone. That's one of his lesser known movies. That's a hard to find one too, Cyberzone. That's a hard to find one. Yeah. But yeah, I can't wait for Daredevil Born Again because I love the Punisher. I love John Berthal's take on the Punisher. That a lot of people have their opinions on who their favorite Punisher is. One, I love all the Punishers. I love Dolph Lundgren and Thomas Jane, the late great Ray Stevenson, of course, John Berthal. I love all the incarnations of the Punisher because I'm such a fan of the Punisher. I think they all did a great job and brought their own uniqueness to the role and to the character. But I can't wait. And I think Disney isn't going to cheat us like, Deadpool versus Wolverine. It's R-rated. They're giving us what we want. And I think they're going to be giving us what we want, with that too. But I'm going to talk about that on my weekly intel tomorrow because I didn't do a weekly intel last week because I did some other videos, but I just didn't get a chance. And plus, there wasn't a lot of news. It wasn't that much going on, but I'll have a lot more to talk about tomorrow on the weekly intel, which is the ACTION-FLIX podcast. The weekly intel is where I go over just everything that's happening in the world of action, news and stuff like that, and trailers and all kinds of good stuff. But yeah, I got my interview with Matthias Hughes up now. Got the trailer for Kill. Check that bad boy out because that is bitchin'. The Boy Kills World did their R-rated red band trailer, which is, if you didn't want to see the movie with the first trailer when it came out, you're definitely going to want to see the movie with this one because it is phenomenal. It looks phenomenal. Bill Skarsgård looks like he put the work in, people, physical wise and everything. It looks funny as hell. Andrew Koji looks like they're going to utilize him. We were complaining how in Bullet Train, Andrew wasn't used to the best of his abilities, but it looks like they're going to be doing that with this one. All right, so I am done. My shoulder is freaking killing me. I am going to go pop some Tylenol or something. I don't know, because I had to stop taking my Oxy like 2 weeks ago because I got my daughter back. Because my ex kept her because of my surgery. So I finally got her back, but I had to stop taking. And plus, you can't take that for too long, which sucks because it works because it's a narcotic. But then once you start taking it, it's like, I'm in so much pain. Right now, like I can move this part, this is okay. But as you can see, this part does not leave my body at all, ever. I don't start physical therapy until the 22nd because every time I'm still in a sling. So if I do anything physical wise, so anytime I go out or I have to have my arm in a sling, and it sucks. Let me tell you, it just sucks. Later, take it easy, Tyler. Thanks a lot. Join me tomorrow if you can. So I'm done. Godzilla X Kong. It's going on 2 hours now. I can't shut up, but here's why. Because like I said, this is my therapy. As you all know, I've had a lot of shit go on in my life. I moved down to Panama City Beach in September, separated from my wife a month later. Then my shoulder went kaput, which I had operated on last year. This is the second surgery in less than a year on this shoulder. And this one was worse. There was no scar tissue. They had to put foreign objects in it, to cover for the fact that I had no scar tissue. It's just a mess. But this is my therapy, talking action movies with everybody. And I'm having a good time. And people are digging it. I don't have a lot of money to put into this stuff, so I do what I can. And I think it looks good for what I can do. And and then one more thing. I did my drawing. Let me hang on real quick for anybody that's still watching. I did my big Well Go USA contest where I'm giving away not one, not two, not three, but 4 movies. I call it the Well Go USA Action Pack, where we had 1% Warrior, which I still have to do a review for this movie. Tak Sakaguchi. Still got to do a review for that. Born to Fly, which is the Chinese version of Top Gun. Polar Rescue, which is Donnie Yen's rescue movie. And then the great sequel, Baby Assassins 2. So I have winners. I have winners. And a couple lucky people are going to get those 4 Blu-rays. I'm going to tell the winners tomorrow via email that they won the prize pack from Wellgo USA. And let me just thank Wellgo USA. They've always been good to me in terms of letting me do these contests and then give me the Blue Blu-rays to review and everything. So that's going to be tomorrow too. I'm going to announce the winners on the show. So I'm going to email them first, let them know that they won. And then when I do my show, my weekly Intel show tomorrow, I'm going to announce the winners of the big Blu-ray Wellgo USA Action Pack giveaway. All right. So until then, he's badass. I just love that picture. I need that on my wall. I gotta get it. I gotta get like the hugest, largest framed. Oh, it's beautiful. Just beautiful. But I'm going to let y'all go. I'm going to go get something to drink, and I'm going to go feed my cat because he's over there looking at me like, what are you doing? So until then, remember, ACTION-FLIX.com. We are your ultimate destination for your action fix. We are going strong now. Like I said, full steam ahead. Even like when I start working again, I will make time to do this. And we got a lot more interviews coming up. Good stuff coming up. A lot of fun things on the Action Fix podcast. Make sure you check out Shane, the Action Nerd Logan's, his podcast, The Action Nerd, Dudes Being Dudes Talking Movies. Anywhere you listen to your podcast, just Google The Action Nerd and he will pop up. All right. Good night. Like I said, have a good one. I will be back tomorrow to do the weekly intel, and I will announce the winners of the big Wellgo USA Action Pack Blu-ray giveaway. All right. So until then, everybody, have a good night. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow.